the smoke? Who wants the smoke? Who wants the smoke? Who wants the smoke? Temperatures going up, the heat is rising. Scholars are showing up, audience vibing. We on a mission, competition is the only desire. Whose information will be facing the immersive fire? So what's up, stand up, can you walk through hell? So tough, too tough for the weak, soft shell. Set the fire, fan the flame, smoke is rising in plumes. While the inexperienced debater starts to choke on the fumes. Bring your science, bring your wisdom, even bring us your religion. If you cannot stand the heat, then please don't come in the Paul's kitchen. It's a session, learn a lesson, fight and overcome your fear. Who will be the best debates by the time all the smoke clears? Who wants the smoke? Who wants the smoke? Who wants the smoke? Who wants the smoke? Smoke session, smoke session, smoke session, smoke session, smoke smoke session, smoke session. Smoke session. Smoke session.
Welcome to the jungle. You know Philly Fred. Rest in peace, Sexo from OK Corral. It's like this, Honey Park style.
My peeps in county jails, waiting on court dates. Life is written in the shared upstate, waiting to release the spirit back to the black hole. Suicidal vacated notes on toilet paper. Stone slash cold, back in close hole. Made the wrong move, tables turn. I wish I could hear the prophetic words from my ears who wisdom the days of old. Before their minds got fried through smoking coke. Too much crying, my dome hurts. Vision burns, left swollen, back body broke. Watching block workers fraternize with cops, telling jokes as the cope. A young nation with false hope. Washing our image where heritage soap. Some dudes you thought were your folks left you hanging. For rare vultures to roast your soul. Your baby mind's missing your cause. You out of control on meds to avoid the pain that's hurting. Losing focus for the omen. Doing what you do as the Romans. Listening to Christian inmates drop sermons. Trying to stay sucker free from hermits and pee-wees like a hermit. Sometimes some play Frogger, die like Kermit. Some even get their wigs split. Doing too more. Make us a lot like Abdullah Ibn Muhammad. Soup season packs got blood, rushing like a comet. Israelite vegans once they eat meat, ready to vomit. Trying to stay God conscious from the nonsense. So not the loose sense of 5 senses, but deadly venoms start entering the psychic at night. You hear the chisel with shakes on the ground getting strength. Infected our scars, trying to feel thick and balls, doing shakedowns, playing James Bond, looking around for contraband like he's Taliban. Bell so high, can't even make bond. 100,000 and thoughts reach beyond 8 Mile like sound. 17 certified, 10 to 24, 4 pound. Stressing, you lost 10 pounds, crying to your Yahweh to let you out the beast's mouth. For years, go and tell pro, watch your light SWAT. They catch the brown fox, getting shot, drugged out, caged in the box. Original man in rage. Original man in rage. Bloodstained Philly street pavement. Wiggles got young balls, chest gaped in the F, acting like gay men for county trades. 2 cookies, Bernard juices. Old heads shake their heads in shame. Losing the lane for the worst. We under a curse. Times is changing. We under a curse for the worst. We under a curse. Times is changing. We under a curse for the worst. We under a curse. Squatting in cell 3 male, sleeping in boats. Trying to get your detainer lift. Your mind floats. Next door, young wolf fighting. One get broke for tobacco. Others hold on. The radicals like lassos. Beat magic. Lord of the fountain. Hear silence. Dead lambs slaughtered by inbreds. Scared. Medium red. Lions tear for air. Vagabonds slay waist deep in lands. Non-living. Filters for a fake image. Sounds of hissing from a Judas kiss. True rulers in the midst. Watch friends. Always bitch turn snitch. Times is changing, we under a curse for the worst. We under a curse. Times is changing, we under a curse for the worst. We under a curse.
2023 and beyond. You might need for the deck. Tanzania, East Africa, plus 255 with the 215 and the 267. Wise man on deck. Lord of the Rings. Hebrew Israelite sovereign nationalism rising all over the four corners of the earth. Feel it Africa, feel it Asia, feel it Europe, feel it North America, feel it South America.
All right, peace, everybody. Peace, 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 peace. You see the title. You know what time it is. You know what we've been doing over here. Go ahead and hit the like, share the videos in the network. We're going to get right into it. DJ Genesis was letting Mighty Hebrew cook on her channel. I said, we got to bring this over here to the Coliseum, to the House of Consciousness. So here we go. Mighty Hebrew, go ahead and continue where you left off. We'll start from the beginning and you can just go ahead and get it in. Anybody know where R.I.S.E is? I told Sonnet or tag him, tell him to tune in. Go ahead, Mighty Hebrew.
Hallelujah. First and foremost, giving all praise and honor to Yahweh, the supreme, intelligent, powerful one of our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, those striving for righteousness' sake. I say unto the family, Shalom Aleichem. It's definitely an honor and a privilege to be here on Sonnet as Sonnet Studios, House of Consciousness Coliseum, DJ Genesis, Alchemizing Energy. Shout out to everybody listening. But let's get straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all know I don't do this, but this has to stop. First, I want to address you, Brother Lau. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no hatred or nothing for you, but you said some things that was just purely inaccurate. So you heard me in the presentation when I gave salutation unto Yahweh Iron Soap. You heard me say Shalom Aleichem. So in your mind, you must have thought I said Assalamu Alaikum. That is not what I said. Right here, if you look at the presentation on the screen, it lets you know that the traditional and literal translation of peace be upon you in Hebrew is Shalom Aleichem. You can break it down as follows. Shalom means peace correctly, completeness, wholeness, and well-being. Aleichem means upon you, plural, though historically used for individuals too. If someone greets you with this, the customary response is Aleichem Shalom. That's a fact. I speak Ivrit, my brother. I live in two locations. I live in Dimona, Israel, Northeastern Africa, and I also live in Tanzania, East Africa. But I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm from the slums in North Philly, Hunting Park section. Both of my parents is FBA, Foundational Black Americans. But let's get it, right? So, boom. I seen the presentation from the brother R.I.S.E, right? I mean, I ain't like the title, you know what I'm saying? Even though he wasn't saying, I'm a Bati boy, as they would say in patois, right? But he said what I was bringing forth was, some Bati boy stuff, right? So what I want you to do right now, DJ Genesis, is throw up his presentation that had Nepal Shaddai on it, because I'm going to show you, young brother, that you basically cut yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely a Hebrew Israelite. I'm a tourist and a Hebrew Israelite. I don't subscribe to the New Testament. I subscribe strictly to the Tanakh, the Torah. Let's get it. So we're going to hit this. We're going to start this from the very beginning when the Shaddai comes in. And I'm going to show you, my young brother, that what you say on this is literally going to cut yourself. Because when you go to look at what the video was talking about, watch what AI say, right? No, he did not. That's my Hebrew brother, Brother Lau. He did not greet me with Assalamu Alaikum. You misheard. You talking about Mikael ben Yehuda. No, he's an Israelite. He said Shalom Aleichem. You just misheard him. Go ahead. Hit that. Hit that. Let's get this thing cracking. Let's get it.
Yeah, it's a birth defect.
Like that. The Y chromosome is a defect.
Huh?
The Y chromosome is a mutation.
Sister Nepal Shaddai to the rescue.
Mm-hmm.
She here?
There she go.
That point.
I mean, Adam and Eve was autistic when they was in the Garden of Eden.
Don't say it.
Stop this for 1 second. Stop for 1 second. Stop this for 1 second.
They was autistic in the
Stop it for 1 second. Okay, we can definitely, Brother Lau, we'll do that. And I'll put money on it right now. I can bet you $1,000 the man says Shalom Aleichem. We can do this right now live in front of everybody. The man clearly says Shalom Aleichem. We know Ivrit, brother. I'm not them dudes that come on social media. The community I'm a part of, so it'll be clear, I'm a part of the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem, which was founded by the late Adonai Rabbi Ben Ami Ben Yisrael HaMoshiach, affectionately known as Ben Ami. My grandfather, the late Prince Asiel ben Israel, and the late Prince Dr. Shaliat ben Yahuda, who is the founder of the School of the Prophets Institute in Northeastern Africa, falsely called the Middle East. And if any of y'all want to challenge me, I could prove that Israel is in fact Northeastern Africa that sits on the tectonic plate. We can go into the flora and fauna and show that the Negev Desert is nothing but an extension of the Sahara Desert. I'm going to set y'all niggas on fire tonight. Y'all going to stop talking shit about me. Press play.
But this might be also one of the things that when you were a kid and your parents already know the answer. They've already looked at it. I'm spanking tonight. That's the reason why, because you're saying play it back, but I'm sure that I think that okay. He watched it already. That's the reason why.
I love this young brother. That's why I'm gonna do this to him. Go ahead. Let's get it.
Hey, real quick.
Before they ate that fruit, they was autistic, man.
Hey, real quick. Genesis 2 verse 5 says what?
With base 44, a simple sentence becomes your website.
The setup is here. The setup is here.
Male and female.
I don't read that.
Watch this.
Male and female, I created them and called their name Adam.
Yeah.
What that mean?
That sounds like a nation.
What that mean?
It sounds like
And comprehend the point.
One.
That means that Adam represents mankind, not an individual person named Adam.
Well, that Adam.
Type shit.
So it really just means mankind as a whole.
Let's welcome the part to the panel.
That's what you believe.
Here we
That's
go
what
now.
the merger said.
Hold on, wait. Let's welcome the sister onto the panel. She didn't come on for nothing. Peace.
Yes, I see your title.
Watch this. My
I see your
PowerPoint
title,
is
and I
straight
thought
for
you were
you.
going over the video that we did yesterday, so thought I'd join.
You missed it then.
No, I heard a little bit of what you're saying. That we need to change the Bati Boy thing, though. You're gonna have to edit that.
Okay. But you just woke up, Nepal?
No, I've been walking all day. Walking in 112 degrees.
Oh,
You changed it for me, sis?
No, I can't change it. That's I don't want to. You can change it.
I'm looking at it. Say, I say what's there. Challenges mighty Hebrew in his doctrine. It don't say Bati Boy no more.
Oh, maybe Sonetter changed it. Yeah. So
No, it says Bati Boy.
it's no problem for you to challenge him. It's just that I don't get why you guys think it's homosexual though.
It still says Bati Boy on there.
Boy, nobody said it was.
I gave a lot of reasons why I said it. I believe it's a
Yeah, I didn't look at it. What is the homosexual part?
not homosexual.
Not homosexual.
It's the promotion of transsexual.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Watch this.
How?
You missed the presentation since you have to watch it again.
Well, let me explain something
No,
to
she
you.
don't.
When he's saying there is no male and female, I heard Suntan asking if Madame Blavatsky's still alive.
Yeah.
Keep going.
You want to address that so far? You want
No, it's coming. It's about to come. Let it play. Watch this. It's coming.
I
Yeah.
know nothing of Madame Blavatsky.
There's no sex or gender in even in science in the beginning. You do know that, right?
Stop.
You talking about autosomes?
Stop.
I'm talking about in the beginning of the organism.
Stop it. Okay. So now I want you to pull it up, right? Because we're gonna crack this code real quick. And everybody, they can like ask questions and answers after I do my PowerPoint presentation. I see young Ashe on, that's very perfect. So now I want you to pull up, right? I want you to pull up what I sent to you, which we got here. You just had it up. Yes, in scientific terms. There we go. Pull it up and correlate for me. Barakasha Akoti to the Rabbah. Pull that up. Bang. Let's read it.
Okay, so In scientific terms, were the very first organism born asexual? Yes. In scientific terms, the very first life forms on Earth reproduce asexually. For the first billion or more years of life, all organisms were single-celled microbes like bacteria and archaea that multiplied by copying their genetic material and splitting into identical clones. The early history of life. Simple beginnings. The earliest replicators in single-celled life relied on simple division, such as binary fission, to pass down genetic traits without any mixing from a partner. No sex cells. Asexual production means that there are no specialized cells or gametes that need to fuse together to create a new living thing. Genetic clones. Offspring produced this way are direct copies of the parent organism carrying the exact same genetic code. With sex evolved later. Arrival of eukaryotes. Sexual reproduction did not appear until much later, roughly 2 billion years ago, after more complex cells with nucleus eukaryotes evolved. Gene swapping, even before sexual reproduction with distinct male and female genders started, some primitive microbes engaged in basic horizontal gene transfer, sharing pieces of DNA with one another. But true sexual reproduction requires the development of meiosis.
Right.
Now stop. Now put me on screen. Let me show y'all the image. Put me on screen. Here's the book right here. Here's the book right here. I want y'all to see it, right? That I got the book right here, Unveiling Genesis, Mystery of the Root, Races, and Cycles, right? And if you go on page 79, here go a morpho reproduction system that is being talked about. There go how a cell mimics itself. It's asexual in nature. So Napasha Da was absolutely correct when she said the very first life forms on Earth were asexual. Now go back to the presentation where Napasha Da is still talking because he's going to stab himself when he asked to look up my video. Watch this. Keep going. Let's get it.
Okay, we're going to go back to the video now. There's no female or male. The concept is there. So when I say the female is the first, the feminine, the concept, but actual human beings with male sex and female sex in an organism wasn't even there in the beginning.
In what organism? Are you talking about humanity?
The humans. Yeah, humans.
Where?
It was in
Where? In the womb?
No, I'm saying in the beginning, in the beginning of creation, like the last universal common ancestor. You do know that, right?
So, Paul, you're saying that
like the single cell?
Oh no, I don't know. Hold on, wait, King J, please stop. I don't know. Please name it. I'm gonna look it up. Let's see what you're talking about.
I just did.
You didn't give a name. You just broke down what it was. What is it? What's the name of this?
No, see, you don't know. You're not ready. You want to debate him, and you're not even ready. I said last universal. I said Luca.
Oh, Luca. I didn't hear you say. Did anybody hear you say?
I said last universal common ancestor. You don't even know it.
Luca means I say she's really just saying like the chromosome X and Y have a common gene pool. They come from a common ancestor, so to speak.
And that's why I asked her about autosomes, right?
Well, and I said before we talk about anything, the first creation was sexless. I want you to stay on track.
Well,
we're talking about you're talking about male and female, right? You want to talk about autosomes, or do you want to talk about sex chromosomes?
About people.
Do you want to talk about sex chromosomes? Because you said it was
no, that's not what he was talking about. He wasn't talking about no damn sex chromosomes. He said, "Your God." Would you like to replay?
No, I don't need to.
No, stop right there. Stop right there.
I don't need you scanning either, though.
Stop. Stop. So throughout the presentation, I never said Yahuwah Ayin Soul was Adam HaChakma being shielded in Makaba light. I never said that. Yahuwah Ayin Soul is the endless one, neither male, female, non-dimensional, or that. The Makaba light is also an asexual shell, so to say, that has masculine and feminine principle, or masculine and feminine polarity, which later forms into the sexes. In Ivrit, in Bereshit, falsely called Genesis 2:7, it says Zokor wa Nikiva. And see, and this is why I'm saying, if you don't know the Ivrit, so to make this clear to everybody, so you know, I do not follow the Bible. I follow the Hebrew text of the Tanakh. And I use the Sinaitic pictorial Hebrew, which you want to call hieroglyph, to get the symbolic understanding through the archaic symbols of the Sinaitic inscriptions. Okay? So now, and after I get finished the presentation, then everybody can say what they say. Shout out to God Energy. I see God Energy in the building. So I'm making that. Hey, what's going on, young Lord? So this is not personal for me, but it seemed like it's a personal thing. Here's a book right here called The Book of God, an encyclopedia of proof that the black man is God by Dr. Wesley Muhammad, right? And I just want to read something that I found interesting. You see what I'm saying? Because he was also breaking down how originally there was a duality in principle, but the non-initiative, they took these things literal and they ran. And this is what we're having right now. We're having a literal discussion with people that's taking what I'm saying literal, but I'm speaking esoterically. Could you real quick, while I look this up, DJ Genesis, could you give us the esoteric meaning of asexual being in the esoteric sense? Could you read that to the people?
In esoteric and metaphysical thought, the asexual being symbolizes transcendence of primal dualities, energetic self-sufficiency, and the return to an unconditioned primordial state. Rather than representing a mere biological lack, esoteric interpretations views this state through lenses like energetic purity, cosmic wholeness, and the freedom from material attachment. And then transcending primal duality, union of opposites. Traditional occult and esoteric systems such as Hermeticism or alchemy view standard human sexuality as a dynamic push-pull of polar forces, active, passive, masculine, feminine, or lingam or yoni. The androgynous ideal. An asexual state is often symbolically tied to the concept of the divine androgen, or primordial Adam Kadmon. At being a being whose creative and spiritual fire turns inward rather than outward, achieving internal equilibrium without needing an external complement. Cosmological and karmic perspectives. The return to origin. The ancient creation narratives such as Buddhist Agana Sutta, early cosmic inhabitants existed in a genderless, non-sexual state before material attachment and dense physical forms introduced division and desire. From this view, asexuality can be interpreted esoterically as an echo of pre-fallen lighter state of being.
Stop right there. You can stop right there. On page 10 of the book that I'm reading right here, the Book of God, the encyclopedia, that proof that the black man is God, it clearly says, to the ancient spirit was masculine and matter was feminine. They were represented as two gods dropped down. At other times, you got to hear this, at other times, the two gods were weeded into one androgynous deity. It says they're initiated to go down. The profane and unlearned took the representation on face value and thus imaged God as a being who actually possessed both sets of organs, which is a true hermaphrodite. The initiated, on the other hand, understood this to signify the spiritual material nature, God, man. This is true as well as with the image of God with two faces, a man and a woman turning the opposite side. Thus, this is God as spirit, man, and matter as women. Our woman. The stages of alchemy reveal the secret of their great work in these words. Make the fire to burn in water and make the water to feed the fire. In this lies the greatest wisdom. I'm going to stop right there. So what we're saying is when you look at emanation, that originally there was no sex, no gender in that cosmic realm. And as we proceeded for our bodies to be more coarse as we develop more into material matter. There was a separation that occurred through our records. It took a 3.5 million year period of the separation of the polarities into sexes. Now go back to the presentation where we left off at, and I want to show Brother R.I.S.E on his own presentation. When he looked up my presentation, the generator, the AI generator, is going to tell him exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly what I'm saying is what it said. And I believe you seen that, brother, and you turned it off. Now play that. Go ahead, DJ Genesis.
Before you go, though, if you don't mind,
yeah,
I want to just add a little bit, because I think I don't know if you said 5 million or 500 million, but when I was talking to him, I want to make it clear about all organisms having, LUCA. But when you get to talking about sex chromosomes, because he's saying, what about autosomes? Before there were, it was so heated. Before you even had sex chromosomes, a separation, like what we're talking about, you can say autosomes, but the conversation is about sex chromosomes, right? I'm getting to a point because I've taught this many times. We see it as an XX now for women, for female, but these were not sex chromosomes. They were a type of autosome before we had the separation of XY. In the XX, males and females both in the organisms had those twin so-called autosomes that are the proto, the pre-XX. So when I say the women or the female was first, we're talking about male and female both having what we will call a type of XX, which wasn't at the time a sex chromosome. It was an autosome. But now that we have a degenerate Y, we say sex chromosomes, get it? Because in the male species, now we have that second of the two identical autosomes that now we have them as sex chromosomes. So we have XY for male and XX for female. What my point is to what he's saying in this presentation is, we had the same everything at the genetic biological base. You get what I'm saying? So I just want to throw that out. Thank you. This was 300 million years ago, though. I don't know what you say, Mighty Hebrew, but okay.
Yeah, and that's correct. And I just want to say something, because I keep hearing dudes talk about bring up Blavatsky. Blavatsky ain't create no theosophy. Theosophy go back since the dawn of time. And anybody that research her, she went to the Himalayas in the Indus Valley and learned from Lama and Buddhists, along with Hindu and Brahmanistic sages, about something known as the stanza of Zion, and then she placed commentary and created what is known as secret doctrine. We're very hip to these things, so we don't want to make it seem like Blavatsky created anything. She didn't create anything. All she did was regurgitate something that already existed. Go back to the presentation real quick, because I want to show the people something. Because if I said what I'm saying, why is and also the AI generator of YouTube, when you look up the presentation after it was over, he pulled it up and it clearly said exactly what I'm saying. Go ahead.
Now I'm scamming.
Yeah, it's scamming. When you come up here talking about chromosomes, you know that man ain't talking about no chromosomes.
You said transsexual.
Playback.
You literally said transsexual, right?
Navan, the #1 rated business travel platform, lets your team book work travel in one place. Flights, hotel.
So sexual is in transsexual. So I said there was no sex in the first creation.
And he said asexual, and sex is in asexual, correct?
And he said asexual in the metaphysical, esoterical, theosophical sense. Meaning, yes, I know that triggers you. Meaning,
it's just a lot of words.
And nobody, I don't like how you trying to wrap this up and play around with it.
Who's scamming you? First off, wait, hold on, R.I.S.E. Who's scamming you?
You scamming? That's just scamming, bro.
Elaborate. Elaborate on
the truth.
All we gotta do is take it slowly. Who's scamming? I want you to elaborate on that.
Nepal Shada is twisting the truth, aka scamming.
Stop it for a minute. Stop it.
You're rewording his words to fit the narrative that you're here trying to.
I want to give a shout out to By Any Means 1020. You absolutely correct. And if you could pull up some of the comments, he's saying only a fool would believe Adam H.P. Blavatsky created this stuff. Only a fool would believe that they created these occultic thoughts. There was do y'all know that there was a black man? I ain't even gonna go there. Oh my gosh. Yeah, are y'all familiar with Randolph Pascal, who is an African man who actually taught, Blavatsky? But you see, I'm not even gonna go there, man.
But real quick, I want to preface the not to cut you off, but I want to just set the tone. We get heated up here. Everybody's on a very respectable level. If you're listening to this, if you listen to Mighty Hebrew, you listen to Ashe, God Energy, Genesis, me. First off, we're all cool. So when you hear this playback and you hear it get heated, so I'm just letting everybody in the audience, don't come over here thinking you're gonna see some beef or whatever. This is about the information, but we do get it in over here. So I just want to let everybody know we're gonna stick to the information, and we all have respect for each other up here. So go ahead, finish. I saw God Energy have his hand raised.
But listen, I can't. I gotta go through my PowerPoint. I gotta go because this is part 3. I gotta go through my PowerPoint.
All right. Let's get back to don't worry about the chat, Mighty Hebrew. Please don't.
Okay. Go ahead. Continue on.
Push the defendant.
And real quick, once he's done, you guys can ask. That's why the link was in the chat. If you just hold on, write it down, and I want you to address everything that he's saying. So, all right, go ahead.
Oh, you talking to me? I'm sorry. I got my kids in a way of things.
I'm talking to you, brother. I'm talking to you and God Energy. So I just want him to get through his presentation.
I already got my talking points. He ain't saying nothing new. But go ahead.
Okay,
I don't want to be interruptive or disruptive.
No, you're not. You're
no,
good.
I'm just playing the part.
No, you're good. Just hang tight and just. I said to God Energy because he had his hand raised. Please make some notes on it because I do want you to address him, but he wants to get through his presentation. But the link, you guys obviously are in here. You're more than welcome to be here. Go ahead, Mighty Hebrew. Finish what you were, or get back to what you were doing before I interrupted you.
And like I said, I gotta say this. Y'all keep making it seem like the Hebrew Israelite culture is a monolith. No, it's not. If you look at this, if y'all put the picture up here of me, you can see this right here is called the Tree of Life, African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem Absorption Manual. We got a Tree of Life system. Look, see, don't it say, look, what that say? The African Jerusalem Absorption Manual, the Tree of Life. We got a whole Tree of Life system. So it's not, don't think all Hebrews believe the same. We got to get out of that mind state thinking that all Hebrews believe the same when they don't. And that's all I'm saying. Maybe the Hebrews that you may have talked to or you might have spoke to, and they might come in a religio sense. We don't do that, the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem. We got a scholarship body known as the School of the Prophets Institute, whereas though we take the scripture to the highest esoteric level. Give a shout out to one of my master teachers, Dr. Kazriel Ben Yahuda, Dean of the School of the Prophets Institute in Dimona, Israel, Northeastern Africa, who I brought on the House of Consciousness before, and that no Sarnetta along with Sister Nepal. Go ahead. Continue on. I just wanted to bring that out to the people that all Hebrews don't believe the same. You got different Hebrew groups and camps. Y'all just familiar with the ones that be on the street corner. So y'all come up with these preconceived notions that all Hebrews believe the same. That is false. Play.
So you said transsexual. I mentioned that there is no sex. Where's the scam?
But your boy said, and what we're referring to, and when we're responding to, is what your boy said. So so a matter of fact, so let's slow it down because you said you wasn't even here for the video. So maybe you don't remember what he said.
I remember, I know his teachings, and they're not just his. There's Vedic teachings, there's Neoplatism, there's of course, you're focused on H.P. Blavatsky, but these teachings go back to these people. Well, I'm gonna let you know something.
That's not respectful.
What do you mean? What do you mean it's not respectful?
Just finish your spiel.
You just called me scamming. I didn't cry and say I'm not being respected. Okay, so let me get back to this. It's not just his teaching. He does have his own teachings, but these teachings go back to, like you guys are crying about, before H.P. Blavatsky hijacked Theosophy. Theosophy predates her. It goes back to before the Kabbalah. It goes back to Kemet. It goes back to all the Vedic teachings. Somebody was crying up here saying, Indus Valley. Yeah. Who has a problem with ancient writings?
No
this
one.
isn't
She just
about.
brought it to the forefront.
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna
That's
be
all
all
Madam
the way
Blavatsky
real with you,
did.
because and the realismism is this. We'll let y'all come on and give y'all spill and defend and twist words and yes, I say scamming.
I don't care. I'm not saying you no, you said disrespectful.
No.
I said I don't care that you're saying scamming.
And that's disruptive. But
yes, what's disruptive?
You talking while I'm talking.
Yeah, and you know what? If you Negroes have a problem with that, don't be on my husband's channel. I shouldn't have said that. Hey, pause it for a second. Pause it for a second. I'm not angry, but you're crying about it. Pause it. I want to publicly say I shouldn't. I was getting a little heated. I shouldn't have said that. That's his rhetoric. Frontier is R.I.S.E domain. That's his channel that he works in the HOK network. I was just, he's getting a little under my skin. So yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with, pulling all that stuff. I can admit. That's bullshit when I'm pulling that husband's channel stuff. Yeah, so yeah, I just want to say I shouldn't do that, and I won't be doing that again. If I get upset about somebody saying something about me, I'm just gonna stick to the information and not pull that kind of stuff. So go ahead. Play that playback. Go ahead. Go ahead, Genesis. Little things like just respect and me talking. You talk over everybody. Ashe. You talk over everyone, sir. But get back to the point.
And I wait to be called on when I'm on.
And then you keep talking over people. So what do you want to say?
Damn lie.
Go back to what you want to say.
You want to know what? And I see what you're doing, and I don't like it. And
because I came in and told you that there's no sex.
I don't respect what you're doing at all. I'm gonna be all the way real with you. So how about this?
What was he so upset about? Are you
willing to defend?
We're defending it right now. You don't see. You're not watching.
Jesus, would you like to be captain?
What was
Yeah.
I didn't get to see this guy. This is my first time seeing this. This is blowing my mind.
Right.
Why is there so much anger about it?
Somebody put this in my inbox. I didn't even know about this joint. I didn't even know.
I don't respect what you're doing. Jesus. Okay. But hold on, Brother Law said he's leaving, and he didn't want to.
I didn't like it. I mean, but that's cool. It's really just water under the bridge. The reason I stopped it though, because we family, and I don't want we not finna get into nothing crazy on stream. We fam.
Okay, I think that I don't. Okay. All right, so
and I'm
Brother Law said he's leaving. He made his announcement.
No, Brother Law, don't go nowhere because I put this PowerPoint presentation together. It's about to come up. Don't leave, man. Don't leave.
Yeah, I think the Brother Law. He's like, I'm leaving, guys.
But he said it was somebody in the chat or something like that. Not none of us. He was saying it was somebody in the chat getting on his nerves.
No, okay, well just ignore them.
Yeah. Don't leave. Don't leave because I want you to see this PowerPoint presentation. Everybody's going to enjoy it. You know what I mean? Y'all got me in my bag. I just turned 50. Y'all won't let me. It's like, The Godfather 3, when you see Michael Don Corleone trying to get out and y'all just dragging me back in. I don't know why. So I'm going to deal with this real quick. Go ahead. Press play.
Don't leave me. It's crazy. No, don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave.
No. Somebody said, don't leave me. It's crazy. Y'all bugging out. The chat be
okay,
bugging,
anyways, y'all. They wild. They wild.
If you want to be Captain Save them, let's go to the teaching. I don't care what you say.
I asked you a question. You didn't talk about last universal common ancestor. Can you get back to that, or you discounting?
No, you don't come to my show and you don't change, and you don't get to twist and change things. So we'll go.
Stop it. Yup, stop it. So Brother Ashe was like, let's go to the teacher. So when you look on the far right-hand side, it says, ask about this video. So he's going to ask about the video and watch what it say. This is how you know that what I'm saying is exactly what I'm saying. Press play. Watch it pop up and watch what it say when we read it.
Can I say anything before you play it though, brother? Just real quick. It ain't nothing crazy.
Go ahead.
I was hitting the ask button so we can go directly to the timestamp when you would say all your stuff, so we ain't have to bother flicking all throughout the 3-hour video. So I would go to the AI just to get the timestamp, and I ask it what was said, and they tell me what you said, and I just be able to go straight to your quote.
I know that's my whole point, and it's going to tell you about the full context of this presentation. Just watch, press play.
Where's the divine?
That's crazy.
Can I throw some clarity to help?
Wait, hold on. Stop, Ashe. Who's on the panel talking about that's crazy? Who is that?
That's my cousin.
Well, your cousin, you will get removed. Let me talk to you. You will get removed if you're over here cheerleading because I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know you.
That's crazy. You're being sensitive.
Don't say it anymore.
Whoa.
I was on one, y'all.
I just built a budgeting app. It's based.
I didn't get to pay my bill, y'all. Sorry about that.
So look, press pause.
Okay.
Right there. No. You went too far up. You went too far because it just came in. All right, right there. Okay, just hit it again so it can come in. Press play. Take the volume off.
Wait, hold on. Stop, Ashe. Who's on the panel talking about that's crazy? Who is that?
That's my cousin.
Well, your cousin, you will get removed. Let me talk to you. You will get removed if you're over here cheerleading.
That's annoying.
I don't know you. I don't know you.
That's crazy.
Don't say it anymore. Don't say it anymore.
Don't do that.
I sound like a Karen. I'm not lying. I didn't have to
Stop it anymore.
Stop
Damn.
it.
I was on my Karen, y'all.
I know. Stop it.
Don't say it anymore.
So if y'all look on the right hand side, blow it up.
I didn't drop it though.
I want y'all to hear this. Look at the far right hand side, and Brother Ashe wrote what it said about the androgynous beings. Can you read that, DJ Genesis? Listen to what it says about what the video is talking about. Listen.
All right. The video discusses the concept of androgynous or asexual beings as part of a historical esoteric progression of human form and consciousness. Here's a breakdown of what is said. The original state. The speaker argues that the original human beings were androgynous or asexual in nature, encompassing both masculine and feminine principles within a single unified being before the separation into the distinct male and female. And then I got to play a little more to get to the rest of it.
Yup, and female sexes. Exactly. So that's exactly what I'm saying. With that said is exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I didn't say anything crazy or inaccurate. Press play so the rest can come up.
Better. I'll do you one better.
So the rest can come up. Okay, stop. Continue to read, DJ Genesis.
Okay. So it says
what else does it say?
Texas we know today. The term asexual is used in an esoteric sense rather than a purely biological one. It refers to a state of being that transcends physical biology, representing the unification of eternal spiritual energy rather than simply being.
Thank you.
Now you heard that.
Don't do that.
Well, he wanted to drop in.
Nepal, this is crazy.
Hold on.
Nepal, this is crazy. Nepal.
Hold on, young brother. Oh, yeah. You can stop there now. You can stop there. So what I'm saying is very clear and it's very simple. The problem what's going on is the literal interpretation of what is now called the Bible. I am not coming from the Western understanding or Judeo-Christian understanding. I am going back to the ancient understandings of a group of Hebrews known as Yadavas, going back to the Indian subcontinent. And when you read their material and understand it, they understood the Genesis by using the Yuga cycles to break down their cosmic history into the physical history, starting 311 trillion, 40 billion years up to 1,000 years ago. And they used the so-called 7 days as 7 created cycles. The word day does not mean day in the Sinaitic pictorial Hebrew. It means that which containeth life. This is a fact. This is a fact. So now what I want you to do is pull up the PowerPoint presentation. But before I start, if anybody want to say something, go ahead. But pull up my PowerPoint presentation. Let's get it. Go to the first. That's the second. Go to the first.
Is God Energy still in here?
Oh, no, yeah. I do want to ask the brother, how long is the presentation? Like, how many slides? Do you know?
I don't know.
I don't. Probably like an hour. You know what I'm saying?
I got time. I got time.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy it. Relax. You're going to just relax. I know you like to smoke the herbal essence. You know what I mean? Roll something up, young boy. Roll something up. You know what I mean? And we gonna dissect this information. So, but I'm saying, anybody got anything to say before we get into the presentation? And this is not new Wahabianism on steroids. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all making it seem like these this is how I know y'all do not travel. This don't have nothing to do with no new Wahabian stuff, man.
Listen, Mighty Hebrew, I need you to do me a favor.
I know, don't look at the comments.
Please don't look at the chat. Okay. I got this. And just ignore it, because I want you to get through your PowerPoint, okay. And then you and I can, yeah. I'll take care of whatever. Fine. Don't even look at the chat. Please don't.
Okay.
Thank you.
So y'all ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get it. Y'all. First and foremost, I give all praise and honor to Yahweh, the supreme, eternal, powerful one of our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, those striving for righteousness' sake. I say into the family, Shalom Aleichem, this is the Mighty Hebrew, Nasi Prince Charland Dean, Tanzania, by the way of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, understanding the 7 emanated cycles of Adamic consciousness. Now, why am I talking about 7 emanated cycles? The reason is because we've been under the impression for many, many years that when you're looking at the first pages of Bitter Sheet, falsely called Genesis, that we're looking at 7 literal days, because this is how we've been taught from an abstract level. One of the problems in the world today, when they look at these Eastern esoteric teachings and readings, they got their understanding from Hellenistic Greco-Roman meanings being crossed over into Hebrew words. This is one of the major problems that we see when we're dealing with things like Strong's Concordances. The Strong's Concordances translate Hebrew words based on how the King James Version was translated. And in that retrospect, it gives you Hellenistic meanings and they impose it within Hebrew words. But a true Hebrew speaker that speak Hebrew fluently, if you try to bring a Strong's Concordance to them, they'll laugh. Go to the next slide. I said in my book, 311 trillion, 40 billion BCE to now, I said the realization of truth is the ultimate weapon to manifest one's reality. And that's true. We got to stop being biased. We gotta shed the biasness. I know how we've been taught the Bible, or the so-called Bible. I understand that your Gentiles took this Eastern book and manipulated it, and they force-fed it to us. But now today in 2026, you have a scholarship body that is putting the scriptures back in its proper place and perspective, just like they hijacked Kemet. When they hijacked Kemet, they took all the artifacts, they took all the information, all the data, and imposed it on their own until there was a challenge. There was a challenge. You had people such as George G. James that wrote Stolen Legacy. We got Dr. Joseph A.A. Ben Yokanai challenging them. We got Chancellor Williams. We got different scholars that came, Dr. Shaka Musa Barachengo, and many scholars that came to challenge and put Kemet back into its place as an African civilization. We here as the African Hebrew Israelites is challenging Western academia, and we are now putting the Hebrew Israelites back in its proper place in Israel, Northeastern Africa. Next slide. Next slide. All my sources, everything you need is going to come up, and you're going to be able to go look up all this information and verify. So now I'm giving y'all an anthropomorphical symbol of Adam HaChachma. And what do you see? You see the Mokaba like that. Adam HaChachma sits in symbolically as a celestial being that has duality, positive and negative, male and female polarity, not sexist. Now, y'all remember, y'all was laughing at me when I said we didn't come from the universe, but the universe comes from us. Y'all laughed at me because y'all didn't understand what I was saying. I am not talking about the physical man as we know today. I am talking about our original cosmic celestial body. And when we time traveled, so to say, by the way of macabre light, as we was going through this process of densification, what happened, the residue from our cosmic bodies that we didn't need necessary formed the universe and the solar system. So let's continue on. Let's go to the next slide. So here's my elders. We got to give accolade to our elders. See, I'm not up here representing myself. I represent a body of people known as the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem. These are my master teachers that I sat under personally. You see my spiritual grandfather in the black, the late Prince Asiel ben Israel, who has been on the House of Consciousness, Napah Shaddai, Sadnetta, all them, took them down there to Chicago. They know Prince Asiel personally. My master teacher, the late Ben Ami, in the center. You see sitting there, Dr. Shaliat Ben Yahuda. These are the original 12 princes that found our community, the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem. The reason why I'm showing Brother R.I.S.E this, because when I brought that up, you was like, huh, that's a scam. No, this is a vibrant community, which is actually the biggest African-American or Black American repopulation. I need y'all to mute y'all mics. The biggest repatriating movement in the history of Black American history. That is a fact. That is a historical fact. That's a historical fact. So all these princes died except there's one more left. Prince Gawara Hagador, he wrote a book called The Impregnable People. I took him over there to Killer Priest podcast where he did a presentation over there. So he's the only one that's left out of all the 12 princes that is alive. Now you have new princes today, myself, others. I was appointed a prince in 2016 by the late Prince Asiel ben Yisrael, not because of some prestige, but the work that I put in over the years in the Hebrew Israelite nation. Next slide. Remember the days are old, consider the many. Any questions or quarrels, you go to your fathers, you go to your elders. We have to return back to our elders. It's a lot of disrespect in our communities. I don't care which school of thought you come from. I'm never going to disrespect the elder. Never, never. Because there was lives that were lost to build what we got. Now we got the elders continue. You're always going to have them threes. And who do you see on the far left? The late Prince Dr. Shaliat ben Yahuda, who found the School of Prophets Institute that I graduated out of in 2005. Boom, you got the late Prince Asiel, who is the international ambassador and prime minister of the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem. And then in the center, who you got? Adonenu, Rabbi Nu Ben Ami, Ben Yisrael HaMoshiach. What do you see on this kippah? You see the radiance coming from his kether, showing that same macabre light, that same macabre light. These are the elders that taught me what I'm teaching y'all. Continue on. Tamshi Barakashah. Ben Ami, Ben Yisrael. I can't really see certain things because if y'all can move, if you can move DJ Genesis.
I don't have the side thing.
Okay, no problem. I can look. No problem. No problem.
Can you move us to the side? I don't have the one that moves us to the side.
I got my PowerPoint right here.
No, that's not the one.
No,
What do you need? Tell me what you need.
You know how we're on the bottom. Can you move us to the side? I don't have the thing that moves us.
Right, got it. Okay.
Okay. So as you see, Ben Ami Ben Yisrael, he was born 10/12/1939. He died 2014. You see the 8 on the side. Why? Because we represent 8 as infinity. And when you go into the covenant of the 17th chapter, the Bereshit, all the male children were told to be circumcised on the 8th day. In Hebrew Gematria, the number of the tetragrammaton is 26. 2 plus 6 equals 8, which is the sign of the covenant, which is eternal from everlasting to everlasting. Olam, hallelujah. Tumshi, next slide. Now we're getting into the 7 root races of the celestial or the terrestrial cosmic era. That's what we're getting into right now. I'm seeing it left the screen. It left the screen. I got to wait for them to come out. There we go, right there. There we go, right there. So each dispensation or each root epic is symbolic to each day that you see in the creation story, or really better yet, the emanation story. So when you read in Bereshit chapter 1, verse 1 and 2, you talking about what is known as the etheric root epic, which some people call it the Polarian root epic amongst theosophists. Then when you go into the second one, now you're talking about Bereshit chapter 1, starting at 3 to 5. Now you're talking about the Molecurian root epic, which they call the Hyperborean root epic. The third root epic is known as Tamal Nadu. Now you're talking 36 million BCE. Now you're seeing the celestial go into the terrestrial, okay? Then you see the fourth. Now you're talking about the Ptolemy root epic, also known as the Atlantean root epic. And then you have the Aryan. I want to stop y'all for a second with that because y'all been under the impression with the false pretense that there was an Aryan invasion in India from 1500 BCE to 1200 BCE. That is a lie that was created in 1856 by a man by the name of Max Muller, who came in with the help of the British, and I'm going to prove this tonight, who funded it. The real Aryans were the black Yadavas and the black Dravidians that created a caste system defining nobility. It had nothing to do with race. Now you see the 6th root epic, which we're going into in the next 25,000 years. And then the 7th root epic is known as the Shabbat root epic. And then you see an implosion. Hallelujah. Y'all go to the next slide. Because when I show y'all the archaeological evidence that the Indus Valley is older than Kemet, like I've been telling y'all for years, y'all gonna be like, oh snap, right? And then you see this image. This is an anthropomorphical image from us coming from the celestial to the terrestrial by the way of time travel, by the way of Mokaba light. When you see the Bereshit code, the only way you're gonna understand it, bro, is that you got to use by the way of the Yuga cycle. Next slide. Next slide. I'm just giving y'all an anthropomorphical image. Now we are Adam, Hakakma, and Lumeria, right? Here we go again. We still see that Sephirogatry of life. Y'all got to stop giving Europeans all this credit. Our ancestors been teaching the things that they now saying in scientific terms. The Enlightenment age was for them. It wasn't for us. We was already way advanced in the game. This is why to this day, they don't even know how we built the pyramids and the ziggurats. They give you theories and they theorize, but because we've been here for so many years, or so many infinite amounts of cycles and seasons, that they can't determine this stuff because they weren't there. When they create this lineal history, this is for them to control time and space so they can control life. So you see Adam HaChachma right there. He is connected to the 10 points, and you see the masculine and the feminine. Remember, for women, we're equal, but equality doesn't mean sameness. Our roles are different, our perspectives are different, but the responsibility is shared. Next slide. Next slide. So now you got the root races and the sub-root races. Now you see Lumeria right there, and you see an empty spot. Why? Because we were more like, we wasn't fully coursed until you get to the 7. But if you notice 5 and 6, you see the word Negro. So now what you're seeing, the Lumerian or Tamal Nadu root epic 12 million BCE sliding over to the Atlantean root epic known as the Romorhos. The Romorhos came roughly around 5.5 million BCE amongst the Ashanti area, coming by the way of Tanzania and shooting and creating the first Native Americans in the United States and all throughout South America, known as the Tavaklis. As you keep going on, you will clearly see these different root races or pre-Diluvian Diluvian races, which will go into the antediluvian times. Next slide. So now you see a world map right here, where you see how the earth was in its prime. So right here, we talking roughly 36 million BCE. This is where you see the Lemurian giants, or that's what they want to call it, but we call them the Elohim beings that walk the earth. This is roughly around 36 million BCE. Keep going. Watch this. So now this is in the book from W. Scott Elliott called Legends of Atlantis and Lost Lemuria. And you see the Tamar-Nadu, 36 million BCE. And you can find this in the Book of Manu, which have nothing to do with Theosophy. They talk about the same thing. You can go to the Ramayana and many other East Indian records and find this information out. Continue on. Now, in the History Channel, we see them talking about Kumar Kandam, which we call Tamar-Nadu. At one time, we clearly see Madagascar and Sumatra connected to this. And then you also see the Indian subcontinent also connected. And when we deal with the history, we always hear about some of the oldest human remains going back to where the mountains of Maru and all that is at. If anybody know anything about Tanzania, if you go into an area right now, which I've been, you go somewhere known as Arusha, Tanzania. Guess what sits there? Mount Meru. Guess what sits in Moshi, where I'm at right now? Mount Kilimanjaro. If you look in my backyard right now, you can see Kilimanjaro right in my backyard, like right in front of my backyard. The next slide, please. Let's get it. Now, here we go. We're about to fry it up. So I need you to read right there, DJ Genesis, who is Hanuman, because I'm bringing this up because, you know, Nepal Shaddai brought this up. So now I'm about to get into this. Let's get it.
Who is Hanuman? Part human, part monkey. Hanuman is a central character in the Hindu epic Ramayana. He is generally depicted as a man with the face of a monkey and a long tail, often described as the son of Pawan, the Hindu god for wind. Hanuman is known for his extraordinary daring feats, strength, and loyalty.
Now, and where is that source coming from? It's down the bottom. Indian what?
India probes identity card for monkey god Hanuman.
Okay, so I'm going to show y'all, like y'all might be like, damn, why is he bringing this up about Hanuman? Go to the next slide. Let's find out. Let's find out why. Now, I'm showing y'all a picture that they're using today of Hanuman, right? But what I'm going to show is that, oh, shucks, here we go now. Here we go. So you got Rama. Rama was this god of the Hindus that supposedly created this 8-man called Hanuman. So if you see right here, you have what is known as Ramapithecus and Shivapithecus. Now, those over there in the Indian subcontinent that are paleontologists and archaeologists, they named the Ramapithecus from 16.5 million BCE, the name Ramapithecus after the Hindu god Rama, who supposedly created the 8-man god Hanuman. Continue on, read it. I'm going to let you hear it from out of their own mouths. Read that right there. What is Ramapithecus? Come on.
Ramapithecus is a fossil anthropoid ape of the Miocene epoch, known from remains found in Southwest Asia and East Africa, and probably ancestral to the orangutan. It is named Rama plus Greek Pithecus, ape.
Okay.
Ramapithecus, encyclopedia.com.
Absolutely. So, and as we keep reading, you're going to see the archaeologists and paleontologists from the scientific books say that they got the name Ramapithecus from the Hindu deity Rama, which reminded them of the Ramayana records. Next slide. Now we in the Legends of Atlantis and Lost Lemuria by W. Scott Elliott. And we're going to get into something known as Descent of the Mindless before I show the archaeological and paleontological evidence of what I'm talking about to be true, right? Because y'all say source up or shut up over here, right? Okay, let's get it. So go to the next slide. So now you got Descent of the Mindless, right? Now I want y'all to hear this. The shameful acts of the mindless men at the first separation of the sexes had its best be referred to in the words of the stanza of the archaic books of Zion. No commentary is needed. So it's no commentary, going straight to their records, to the Indus Valley records on this tip. During the third cycle or root epic, the boneless animals grew and changed. They became animals with bones. Keep going. You can go to the next slide. Animals with bones, and their bodies became solid. The animals separated first. They began to breed. The twofold man became separated also. Stop. So it's talking about exactly what I'm talking about. That androgynous being that's neither male nor female, but had male and female polarities, which would later separate and become sexes. I'm not making this up. This is what it says. Let us, listen to what it says, let us as they, let us unite and make creatures. They did. And those that had no spark, meaning that the very, this manifestation that was taking place, right? They were dealing with what is known as instinctive will. This is why when you read in the better sheet and it says, man has become as gods, knowing good and evil. Take away the word God and just say, man has become conscious. From one level of conscious thought, in that retrospect, from instinctive will to conscious will, right? And it says that the tongues of their progeny remain still. Monsters they bred, a race of crooked, red-headed cover monsters, meaning orangutan, going on all fours. So it's letting you know about the separation that took place. Next slide. Next slide, because I'm gonna go through some of this stuff to keep going, because I'm gonna hit straight. Go ahead, keep going. Now, if you look at this diagram, you can literally see, and let me pull mine up so I can see it also. So now, when you look at that diagram, you see the primordial astral man. So on the right-hand side is us. On the left-hand side is different primates. And if you notice at the very top, you see that circle, and that circle is what connects everything. That is what we call in the missing link. Here at the Mighty Hebrew University, the missing link for us is Adam HaKakma, also known as the mind. And what you see is the manifestations in substance from the mind. Keep going. Next slide. Keep going. Keep going. Don't worry about that. Keep going because I want to keep going this side of my book. Stop there. Okay. Could you read this to us, DJ Genesis, please? Because
genetic studies reveal some modern humans carry DNA from extinct hominid species, evidence of ancient interbreeding. Humanity has a filthy secret. Our ancestors used to have sex with members of other species. That's the finding in a new piece of research which suggests ancient people used to romp with a ghost species of proto-human. We are just one of a number of species known as hominins. Members of this family include Neanderthals, Denisovans, which are no longer found on Earth. It seems that interbreeding between different early hominin species is not the exception. It's the norm, says Omer Guckerman, assistant professor of biological science in the University of Buffalo. Guckerman tested the DNA of humans living in sub-Saharan Africa and found genes which were wildly different from versions found in other modern humans.
Okay, and where's the source of that? Where isn't that Smithsonian.com?
Yes,
so there were different hominin species. Right? Isn't that what that's saying? Okay, yes. So I'm just making sure. Now we're in a book called The Hidden History of the Human Race, Forbidden Archaeology by Michael Kremer, who is also an archaeologist Could you read that to the people, to me, DJ Genesis? If not, I'll read it.
Ramapithecus first came to the attention of scientists in the 1930s. This creature, initially regarded as a fossil ape, was named after Rama, an incarnation of God described in the Vedas. In
Stop. So this is an archaeologist. And you will hear people say they disagree with, but the man's an archaeologist, period. What did he say? Why did they name the bones that they found that go back to 16 million BCE, which I showed why they call it Ramapithecus? What did the archaeologist say? Read that again. Started from the top.
Okay. Ramapithecus first came into the attention of scientists in the 1930s. This creature, initially regarded as a fossil ape, was named after Rama, an incarnation of God described in the Vedas. In 1964, Ramapithecus achieved worldwide fame where Elwin Simons and David Pilbeam reconstructed an upper jaw from two fragments, giving it a characteristically human parabolic shape. Simmons and Pilbeam pronounced Ramapithecus to be a hominid and erect bipedal primate. In 1964, Elwin Simmons wrote in Anthropology, Ramapithecus punjabicus is almost certainly man's forerunner of 15 million years ago. This determination increases tenfold the approximate time period during which humans' origins can now be traced with some confidence. This was a bit of an overstatement because between Australopithecus and Ramapithecus, there was and still is a gap of several million years in the hominoid fossil record. In any case, Ramapithecus quickly received acclaim in textbooks and journals articles as the earliest human ancestors. As Richard Leakey and Roger Lewin wrote in 1977, Ramapithecus, as far as one can say at the moment, is the first representative of the human family, the hominids. FIX 1984, page 20.
Thank you. Go to the next slide. Now we're in the book Human Devolution. You're going to read the green and the pink highlight, the high pink highlight. This is written by Michael Creamer also. Listen to what he says in Human Devolution in the introduction. Check this out.
My book, Forbidden Archaeology, co-authored with Richard J. Thompson, documents archaeological evidence for extreme human antiquity, consistent with the Puranas.
With the Puranas,
the historical writing of ancient India. The evidence places a human presence so far back in time as to call into question the Darwinian account of human origin. And then further down it says, because of this, I wrote in the introduction, we have not been able to develop in this volume, our ideas about an alternative to current theories of human origins. We are therefore planning a second volume relating our. I'm sorry, it's getting kind of hard to read. So it's extensive research.
Extensive research results in this area of our Vedic source material. Go to the next slide.
It's kind of light on my page. I can't really see it.
It's fine. Bone. What do we got here? Bone mystery. The ancient humans have sex with other species than Neanderthalians. And you got the information right here, and it gives you an exhibit shown of Neanderthalian family in the cave in the Neanderthalian Museum that you find, you know what I mean?
Town of Krapina. In the town of
Krapina. And it says that the knowledge of our human origins has taken a huge leap towards after anthropologists decoded the DNA of a bone as old as 400,000 years, revealing that our ancestors may have had sex with more species of early humans than previous thought. And the reason why you have these different early humans and early different hominin species, because there were different root epochs. You can skip over that. Keep going, because I'm getting down to the archaeology. Keep going. Keep going. Because they said something about India. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Yup, keep going. No worry. Keep going. Right there. No, go right there for a second. I just want to read that quotation right there. Go back. Yeah, right there with Prince Dr. Shalia. That's one of my master teachers. I went right there. May he rest in completeness within the Azulated world of existence and pure will. The late Prince Dr. Shaliak said, history must backtrack in giant steps to come to a spiritual reconciliation or acknowledgement of truth, which is salvation. Prince Dr. Shaliak ben Yahuda, and he's standing next to the indigenous populations that still live in Israel today. And look how black they are. Keep going. Don't worry about that. Keep going. Keep going. It's about to come up. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Right there. Right there. No, go back. Go back. Okay. Yup. So now we're talking about tools and Tamana do 1 million years ago. And they found this in the Science Journal in the early Pestilene presence of early hominoids in South India going back 1 million years ago. So this whole concept that y'all talking about Homo sapiens sapien, some taking it back. First it was 150,000, then 300,000, then 350,000, then 400,000. Now it's going all the way back to 1 million BCE. And you're going to remember that 1 million BCE because this is when we talk about the prime of Patala, which is also known as the Atlantean root epic. We're going to get into all that because I'm showing how the archaic records is aligning with the scientific data. Next slide. Now, look, could you read that out loud to the people?
Early Middle Paleolithic culture in India around 385 to 172. What is Ka? Reframes out of Africa.
Meaning BCE. Say what now?
Yeah, so early Middle Paleolithic cultures in India around 385 to 172 K.
Yeah, they talking about 350,000 years ago, man. This is what they saying, that they find an early Middle Paleolithic culture in India. And it reframes out of the Africa models. This is what they saying out of their own mouth. This is the archaeologists and paleontologists, these people that are finding these ancient civilizations in India. Y'all gonna say this is a lie? Keep going. Next slide. So this is a lie too, huh? Look, read this. This is a lie. Can you read this?
Scientists from Kharagpur and Archaeological Survey of India, ASI, has uncovered evidence that the Indus Valley civilization is at least 8,000 years old and not 5,500 years old, taking root well before the Egyptian 7,000 BC to 3,000 BC and Mesopotamian 6,500 BC to 3,100 BC.
And what's the source of that? And what's the source down the bottom?
Your story.
Yep. No. Go back because I want them
the Indus Valley civilization is older than what we thought. Your story. And
that's a fact. And they admitting this. And I said this long time ago. I remember when I was directly with Side. I think I went to go see Sarah Sutin Seti versus Aline Bay. So we going back in the day. And I was no. Even though I was there too, it wasn't that debate. It was Dr. Wesley Muhammad versus Natural Tahuti. And Sarnetta did that one. And I was being interviewed by Sarnetta, and I was dialoguing with somebody, and I told them that the Indus Valley was older than Kemet, and we know about pre-dynastic Kemet, and I'm gonna get into all that, how they were influenced by the Nagas of the Indus Valley. We're getting into all that. But this man right here, Max Mueller, could you read that out loud? Because remember earlier, I spoke about how he came in 1856 and created what is known as the Aryan race myth. He created that, right?
Max Mueller, the propagator of Aryan invasion theory, wrote to his wife, "It took only 200 years for us to Christianize the whole of Africa. But even after 400 years, India eludes us. I've come to realize that it is Sanskrit which has enabled India to do so. And to break it, I have decided to learn Sanskrit. The soul of India lies in Sanskrit, and Lord Macaulay saw it that the later generations were successfully cut off from their roots."
Next slide. Interesting. Next slide. Here go Max Mueller again. Watch this. Read that.
He was a paid employee who translated Rigved is in a demeaning style.
Oh, okay. So now watch this. Now go to the next slide. Boom. Let's get it. Let's get it. What is this? The Aryan invasion theory, a total misconception. This is my source right here, Baba Jia. Let's read what he said. Go to the next slide. Let's see what he say out of his mouth. He's a major scholar over there in the Indus Valley and well respected. Can you go to what does that say?
The Aryan invasion is a misconception and a concocted story to divide India and strip it of its own knowledge and culture, giving credit to the Indians' wisdom to foreigners. We are the burnt fortresses, the weapons, and where are the burnt fortresses, the weapons and relics of mangled armor? Where are the smashed chariots and bodies and invaders and defenders? Despite extensive excavation at the Harappan sites, there is not a single bit of evidence that can give us unconditional proof of any ancient foreign invasion. Any skeleton or artifact proofs that were and are being found are totally indigenous Aryan and Dravidian origins. It should be noted that no hard evidence has proven the Aryan invasion theory to be a fact. The recent emergence of a new evidence over the last couple of decades has debunked the validity of the Aryan invasion theory. The origin of this theory is nowhere, emphasis mine, to be found in Indian historical records of the Vedas, Puranas, and Itihas. Can't say that word, but it's only mentioned in the 19th and 20th century politics and German nationalist propaganda.
Next slide. Watch this. Boom.
In the year 1853, Max Mueller was commissioned by the British to write about the Aryan invasion in order to promote their divide and rule policy. He created a rift by creating his Aryan race theory as opposed to the Dravidian race. When challenged in the year of 1888 by eminent scholars, he saw his reputation was at stake and backpedaled from the word race, explaining that he meant to include only those who speak the Aryan language. The original Sanskrit meaning of the word Arya is the noble who is righteous. It is commonly used in addressing a gentleman as Arya Putra, noble son. It has nothing to do with race, caste, or color.
Say that one more time. It has nothing to do with what?
It has nothing to do with race, caste, or color.
And who created this theory? Max Mueller. The Aryans, the original Aryans, were black Dravidians, man. They don't have nothing to do with no Europeans. Read on.
It simply connotes a noble inhabitant of Aryavatra, the land of India. So when the bluff was called, Max Mueller spilled the beans and admitted that his theory of an Aryan invasion was concocted and that there was no Aryan invasion and the subjugation of Dravidian peoples excerpted in the book Babaji, The Lightning Stands Still by Yogiraj Gurunath Siddhanath.
Next slide. Now we in the search of the cradle of civilization by George Ferguson. These are and Sadas Khan and David Foley, and these are PhD scholars. Let's see what they say about the Indus Valley. And this is a presentation that I put together. I did a book review presentation on this specific book. Check it out. Tumshi, go ahead, read it.
Contrary to the school book notion, the real cradle of civilization was not Kemet, Egypt, Kawash, Kush, Ethiopia, nor Sumer, but the greater Indus Valley. The book below is a must-read. Yisro, which completely revisions ancient history and cites the latest archaeological, geological, and linguistic evidence showing that the original Edenian Shemitic Indus Valley had a highly evolved Tamil Nadu, Lemurian, Athala, Atlantean, Ibero-Hebraic culture. This has influenced the world decisively and still has much to teach us today. This book goes into an ancient Edenian Shemitic text called the Rig Veda, and now scholars are saying that this text is much older than assumed, and that the book, in search of the cradle of civilization, decodes the profound spiritual wisdom hidden in its symbols, metaphors, and myths. The three authors of this book also unravel astonishing mathematical and astronomical code hidden in the Edenian, Lemurian, Atlantean, Hebraic, Indus Valley Vedic hymns. The authors, George Florestan, PhD, is a world-known religious historian and yoga researcher. Shabush Kak, PhD, is a Sanskrit scholar and professor of computer engineering at Louisiana State University, and David Frawley, OMD, is the director of the American Institute of Vedic Studies in New Mexico. The book shows us new evidence that the earliest civilization is in fact in Rajasthan, India, dating 50,000 BCE. Also significant new sites have been discovered, such as the great city of Dhalavira in Gujarat, which is one of the largest ports in the ancient world. Excavation has started in Rakhigari, west of Delhi, a city that was much larger than Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, for which the original Hebrews came from. And take note of these words. What a connection! Hebrew, Ibri, Hebrew, Apiru, Harappa, and historians like Sir Godfrey Higgins have pointed out to us that these names were all derived from the ancient Hebrew Indo-Sanskrit dialect, which means son Ophir. The Easton's Bible Dictionary states that a connection to Sophir was in fact the Coptic name for India. Also, our forefather Josephus connected it with Copan, an Indian river and in part of Asia adjoining to it. Antiquities of the Jews 1:6. It was India that created in fact colonized Kemet and Kush, not the other way around. This is why the ancient Indus Valley's dynasties look just like those of the pharaohs of ancient Kemet. The only difference is that the ancient Indus Valley dynasties existed long before the Egyptian dynasties existed. It existed at a time when Kemet was in fact underwater. Hebrews, also known as Yadavas, were a very large tribe that came out of the ancient Indus Valley, and also known as the Harappans. Our ancestors were speaking an ancient Indo-Hebrew dialect called Tamil and Sanskrit, and it should be noticed that Aramaic originated in what we know today as modern Afghanistan and Pakistan, and both
you can stop right there.
Once part of India.
Persia. You can stop right there. Now keep going up to show some sources. We're not going to read all that. All right, there. Now give some of the source material. Give some of the source material.
Okay, how deep are the roots of Indian civilization? Archaeology answers. Other source material debunking the Aryan invasion, the Aryan home, Copperville, Siva Kamisrawa. I can't say it. Kakinda Ahandra Pradesh is the writer of that one. Tony Joseph, Early Indians, the story of our ancestors and where we came from. The Rigvedic people, invaders, immigrants, or indigenous, evidence of archaeology and literature by B.B. Lau.
Stop. So now look at we're getting into the ancient artifacts of the wall call. What does it say about the wall call real quick? You don't have to read all that, just the top part. And how old is it?
What does it read?
No, you just the date of it. It says how old? 30,000 BCE. New archaeological sites of the Gulf of Cambay, India, giving us the information about this civilization going back between 30 to 35,000 BCE.
Yes, it's kind of hard for me to read this one, but it says artifact dated in interval 8592 to 9331 BP. I'm not sure what BP means.
Go to the next slide.
Okay, so ancient artifact. Okay, it says Bimbetka writings and Idakai caves and Karalis Ketavaram, a horse, the rider. There's like some pictures and stuff, different things.
Right.
Like,
and they showing 35,000 years ago. Some of them is 10,000 years ago. Some of them is 12,000 years ago. Look at the structures. These are black people that built this stuff, man. Y'all keep saying white folks, no. And even the bones that they found. Here we go. You start from the bottom up and read. And what do we have? We have Hacha, which is pre-Haraparian, which is 9,450 BCE. We teach here at the Mighty Hebrew University that the last flood, Noah's flood, was 9,564 BCE. And you shoot up to 7,950 BCE, early Haraparian civilization, and then the early mature Haraparian 6,450 BCE to 4,950 BCE, and then the mature Haraparian 2,750 BCE. Come on, man. The earth and the cycles. Well, we can get into that. Yeah, the earth and the cycles. Yup, start right there. So if you go into the book, The Earth and its Cycles by E.W. Preston, right? It breaks down the chronological history that I'm talking about, Atlantis and the fourth root cycle, and the summary of the main dates and events concerning the Atlantean races. And these were all black people from 5 million BCE to 10,000 BCE. So when you start talking about roughly between 5 million to 4 million BCE, you get the Ramoho race founded in the Ashanti land, also known as West Africa, and they gradually spread it all over what you know as Northwestern Africa. This is why you have Herodotus even talking about the Atlantean people. And then you got the scientific evidence of the late Pleiadian period, right? And then you start talking about 3 million to 2 million BCE. Now we got the Tavaklis that founded and spread it throughout Asia and South America. Then you got 2 million to 1 million BCE, the pre-Toltecs. And what they started to do is they started to spread in populations as Mexico and Peru. We're not talking about Toltecs, but we're talking about pre-Toltecs. Then you get 1 million BCE, the golden age of the pre-Toltecs and their great empire, the Golden Gate. And the Golden Gate would be in South America. Then you get 900,000 BCE, the pre-Toltanian race you can find all throughout Africa through the tongue skulls and different things like that they found. 8,500 BCE is the pre-Shemitic races found amongst even the pre-Toltecs, and you start to see black magic. Now it's rising up, and then you get the first cataclysm, the first flood, breaking the Atlantean or the Patalian continent. And then you get the pre-Akkadian race in 600,000 BCE. You get the pre-Mongolians, and then you see them spreading throughout the Gobi Desert and different other areas. I'm giving the chronology, 400,000 BCE. Now you get these pre-dynastic Kemet that Manatho talk about, roughly around 400,000 BCE, right? You get, and this is, and I know a lot of people may have a difference in pyramid building. We over here at the Mighty Hebrew University speaks about the first divine dynasties in ancient Kemet, roughly around 210,000 BCE, and they built the 2 pyramids of Giza, 200,000 BCE. Now you have another flood that takes place, and it breaks the island into 2, Ruta and Tatia. We know in the records that when Plato talks about Atlantis, he's talking about the end result of Atlantis, which he calls Post-Adonis or Poseitis, right? 150,000 BCE, we see Kemet people. You see people coming from the Indus Valley regions known as the Nagas. This is why we teach here at the Mighty Hebrew University. When you see the Nasut wearing the cobra, it's symbolic to the Naga, and the Naga means serpent people. And even when you go into the Torah and you see the word serpent, it uses the word Nakash, which is whisper and chanter. It's the same word and have similar roots. As you go 80,000 BCE, we talk about a small group of pre-Shemites even reaching to the Gobi, 75,000 BCE. Now we got another flood taking place. It destroys Ruta and keeps Datia, which Plato calls Post-Adonis or Poseitis. Then you
wait, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can you go back to the definition of the Nakash that you said?
Yes. As a matter of fact, could you real quick, DJ Genesis? Oh, no, never mind. It's going to come up. It's going to come up. You don't have to do that. The Nakash, some people translate it as whisperer, enchanter, soothsayer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Nakash and the Naga have the same meaning and source. When you, and we're going to, and my PowerPoint is going to show that the Nagas go back, the Nagas of the Indus Valley go back many millennia, and it means serpent people.
Yes. So are they saying literal reptilian snakes? Thank you. I wanted you to just go a little bit, and I'm muting out.
No, this is not literal. And then the descendants of Romulhos go into Europe, you know what I mean? And then you get 70,000 BCE. You see the third divine dynasty, the temple of Karnak was built. Remember, we don't acknowledge the young understanding of when the pyramids were built and all that. We acknowledge that they are much older than what was told to us. 35,000 BCE, descendants of Tavocles in Europe form the Cro-Magnons. You get the Cro-Magnon types in Europe. You also get the Grimaldi Negro types in Africa and Europe, which Sheikh Anta Diop talk about in Civilization of Barbarianism. Then you go to 20,000 BCE, you get the Turanian civilization, and you even see it in Chaldea and what we now know as Iraq in that region. 14,000 BCE, the descendants of the Toltecs now formed great empires in Peru and Central America, conquered by the Aztecs, descendants of certain Turanians and descendants of the pre-Akkadians, 10,000 BCE, which is really 9,564 BCE. You get the flood, which is Noah's flood. Next slide. Boom. Now here's a content. Here's right here in the Ramayana records and even in the laws of Manu, it talks about ancient Tamil Nadu, which is submerged. They got the Pingyang kingdom, and you also see other civilizations. You see Madagascar connected to that. You see, we talking about way before modern day or the societies that y'all talking about from 6,000 BCE to now. We've been building empires. We have no beginning and ending. We older than the sun and stars, just like the late Honorable Elijah Muhammad broke it down. That's why y'all ain't understand when I said that the universe, we don't come from the universe come from us. Now this slide right here is showing you how Lemuria would look with the connection of Sumatra, Madagascar, and the Indian subcontinent. Next slide. The Sumerian civilization originated from the exodus of Lanka, South India. So what I'm saying, when you build in on the Sumerian empire after the flood, roughly around 7,500 BCE, you had what was a war known as the Ramayanian War. These ex-Brahmins migrated from the Indian subcontinent in southern Tamil Nadu, migrated and built the Mesopotamian empires like Sumer. Because remember in the Bible or the Old Testament, in the book of Bereshit, miscalled Genesis chapter 11, we clearly see it says that the whole earth was one. They used the Hebrew word R.I.S.E or Ratazal, which means ground or land. The whole land was one. You know what I mean? And the people that came from the east, the Hebrew word is Kadim. They came from the Indian subcontinent and they found the plain and developed what is now known as Sinar, which is the Hebrew word for Sumer. Thus, the Sumerians were actually Lincoln refugees of the Ramayanian War. Next slide. Boom. You see some of the strongest empires during this time. So now we in post-Diluvian, pushing up into the 6,000 year BCE reign. You see right here, you see the Tigris and Euphrates Valley. You see the Indus Ganges, and you see the Nile or ancient Kemet. Keep going. You see the end. You see right here where we already read about Harapparia and this other one right here, the Mohenjo-Daro, going back 50,000 BCE. 50,000 BCE. There it is again. There it is again, right? Now we talk about the Naga, which is Sanskrit serpent, and Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, a member of the class of mythological semi-divine beings. And when they say mythological, and I know y'all use that word mythological over here, but y'all been using it wrong. Myth does not mean something that's real. Myth means true story shrouded around esoteric knowledge. That's what it means. Y'all been running around talking about, oh, it's a myth, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. But that's not what myth mean in the original sense and intent. Y'all ran with that. And anybody, just like when y'all talk about an eponymous ancestor, when y'all say it, y'all say, oh, it's not a real ancestor. That's not what eponymous ancestor mean. And we can, matter of fact, can you do that real quick, DJ Genesis? Can you look up eponymous ancestor? Because a lot of times people in the comments, people come on this show.
Eponymous.
Natasha Dye, no. She's the speller.
Eponymous is spelled EPONYMOUS. Yes, I do know, actually.
I told you she the one that know how to spell it.
Okay.
This ain't nothing to be blown out the water, because The archaeology is there. I gave y'all the sources. There are civilizations older than Kemet. There's nothing wrong with saying that. There's nothing wrong with saying that because the evidence is there. Can you look it up real quick, DJ Genesis? And
oh,
show
no,
the
it's there. I
people
just had to remove this. Okay.
Okay. Show them what the eponymous ancestor mean. Can you read that? Blow
Sure.
it up so the
It says,
people can see.
an eponymous ancestor, let me make it bigger. An eponymous ancestor is a person whose name is used to name a group, tribe, or place, such as Helen or the Helens, or Dan for the Danes. Dane for the Danes. Name giver. The person gives their exact name to a family, clan, or land, myth, or history. The figure can be a real or historical leader, a sacred religious figure, or a made-up myth character. Or origin story. Cultures use these figures to explain where their group name and traits come from.
Right. So the whole thing that I'm saying, the way that y'all use it is one-dimensional. Y'all use the word eponymous ancestor as if it's fake, and that's not what it means. It can be used as something not being real, but it also can be used as a real historical person. It can be a historical family name. We just read it. So why y'all using these words as if y'all using eponymous ancestor and myth as if y'all prove it's not real? And then when people challenge the Western academic norm, y'all try to use the word pseudo so y'all don't be challenged based on the academic consensus. You know what them people did to us, and then we turn around and we got to use their lineal history, and we know that they being funded by the Mossad and different other organizations, they textbooks and everything. Y'all know these things. Go to the next slide. Oh, before you do, that source comes from Naga Hindu Mythology in the Encyclopedia Britannica, .com. Go to the next slide. Now, here go the Nagas of ancient India right here. Half human, half cobra. And that's not to be taken literal. Oh, man. I know we ain't going into the Hashem and the Tiwa, Nakopu pharaohs of ancient China going back 7,800 BCE before the dynastic pharaohs of Kemet. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Go look it up. No, go back there so everybody can see. Y'all want the evidence? Write that up. Go look it up. And y'all see that there were pharaohs in China called Shanim that existed even before dynastic Kemet. And if you notice what they got on their forehead, man, they got the cobras on their head. Ain't that interesting? Okay, go to the next slide. Oh, and then if you look at them, go back. If you look at them, right, you can clearly see that these is black light, twilight people, small light people, man. So all this is fake that I'm showing. Oh, okay, keep going. Go to the next slide. Okay. Oh, man, what about the mind-boggling new evidence of Australian Aboriginals and the Dingo mysteries, proving that the Indian Hindu links, you know what I mean, all of the civilizations all over. What's up with all that? So all this is fake. Right? Everything I'm showing is fake. When you can go type this up right now on your Google and all the archaeological evidence will come up. Like it's all fake. Okay.
Don't even worry about the chat. You just cooking.
Oh, no, I'm not looking at the chat. Okay, go to the next slide. This is how some beautiful Indus Valley looking women look. Go back to them sisters. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful looking sisters, man. Huh? Oh, so they white folks. Oh, okay. Now here we go, because people wanted to know the connection of the Hebrews in the Indus Valley. So the Black Afro-Asiatic Jews of India. So in the yellow highlight, it says the term Yadava now covers many traditional pastor classes, such as the Ahars of the Hindu belt, right? And it speaks about how these Jews or Israelites go back to Taman Nadu, and they were known as the Yadavas. They was known as the Yadavas, right? Go to the next slide. Watch this. The tribe of Krishna. Look, y'all. The tribe of Krishna had a name, which is very remarkable. Captain Wilford said the Yadavas, his own tribe, meaning Abraham's tribe, and nation were doomed to destruction for their sins, like the descendants of Yahuda or Huda, which is the true pronunciation of Judah. Mr. Marcus says that the Yadavas were the most vulnerable immigrants from India. They were the blameless and pious Ethiopians. Let's stop right there. So when Herodotus talked about the Eastern Ethiopians and the Western Ethiopians, he's talking about the Yadavas of the Indus Valley that was there first over in the East, meaning India. And when they start migrating like Abraham and all them from the Indus Valley to Mesopotamia to what now we know as Canaan land, they became known as the Western Ethiopians, who Homer mentions and calls the remoteness of mankind. Part of them says in the old Hindu writings, remain in this country. You see, remained in this country. And hence we read of two Ethiopian nations, the Western and the Orient, meaning the East. Some of them live far to the East, and they are the Yadavas who stayed in India while the others resided far west, dropped down. This immigrating tribe of Yadavas or Yada, we shall find of the first importance, for they are none other than the Israelites or the Jews. Okay? Okay, so this ain't nothing that I'm making up, right? Go to the next slide. Go to the next slide, right? Are you there? Okay, cool. So let me pull this up and read this. So, do I have to read that? Do I need to read that? No, I don't have to read that. Go to the next slide. This is just some pictures. Okay. Yeah, and down the bottom, you can see I gave an example because I think King J, he asked me a question of the similarities of Hebrew words and Indus Valley words, and I put an example there where you see Hebrew and Kashmirian, and you can like the spark of life is the same as Kashmirian Hebrew. Work, how they would say work. Void, how they would say void. Acceptance, force, crown, destiny, nothing. And when you read it in the Hebrew and the Kashmirian, it is the same. It is the same. Look at the Tamil Nadu Javidians. Look at them. Go to the next slide. Go to the next slide. What do you see? Oh, that's the cradle of civilization. Go to the next slide. Now, remember when I told y'all where you at? Okay. I see where you at. That's in Forbidden History. Now, where it say in Forbidden History? Go to the next slide. Boom. Now it talks right there in Forbidden History, right? You got what? India, 30,000 BCE. Look how I'm giving y'all the sources. I'm giving you the names of the books. Now let's go to some peer review. Let's go to the ancient, medieval, and modern ancient Indian textbook. Next slide, y'all. A class text. Now, remember I said that there were two ors? Did I make this up? Well, let's find out if I made it up, right? It says right here. No, go back. It says this. In this period, we come across three types of villages in South India. One, or. Then you got Sabhav and Magabin. Or was the usual type of village inhabited by present castes who perhaps held their land common in it. And as you keep reading, and it goes down, these villages were mainly found in southern Tamil Nadu. So the ore that I'm talking about that Abraham go back to is the ore of the Indus Valley out of Tamil Nadu, not ore in Mesopotamia. Next slide. Go to black bloodlines. Abraham and the racial profile of the Hebrews, right? And then you go to the next slide. You see the table of contents by Calvin, and that's written by Calvin R. Evans. And what does it say? I need you to read that, DJ Genesis. Can you read that?
The table of contents or the chapter?
No, that right there. Yup, that right there. Read that.
Okay, the tribe of Judah, which is the tribe that Jesus descended from, was a black tribe of Hebrews. Historian Wilson Armistead states quite plainly, the descendants of a colony of Jews originally from Judea settled on the coast of Africa are black. Armistead Wilson, a tribute for the Negro, being a vindication of the moral, intellectual, and religious capabilities of the colored portions of mankind, with the particular reference to the African race, Manchester, London, W. Irwin, 1848, page 66. Judah was the largest Israelite tribe to leave Egypt, which means that the mixed multitude that left with Moses, Judah was the tribe that was most mixed. Judah married two different Canaanite women. Judah has had five children between these two women. All of Judah's children were black. what also needs to be taken into consideration is that out of the 12 tribes of the Hebrew that left Egypt, Judah was the largest tribe. There were over 74,000 people in the tribe of Judah. Large numbers of Egyptians left Egypt with the Hebrews during the Exodus, and Judah had the highest population of all the tribes. So it certainly stands to reason that there were large numbers of blacks among the ranks of Judah. Sir Godfrey Higgins quoted Mr. Maurice, the Yadavas were the most venerable immigrants from India. They were the blameless and pious Ethiopians whom Homer mentions and calls the remotest of mankind. Part of them say the old Hindu writers remained in this country, and hence we read of the two Ethiopian natives, the Western and the Oriental. Some of them live far to the east, and are the Yadavas who stayed in India while others resided in the West. The fact of part of the tribes yet remaining in existence is one of the pieces of the circumstances of this kind that I ground my system. They surpass all written evidence, for they could not have been forged. This immigrating tribe of Yadu or Yuda, we shall find of the first importance, for they were no other than the Jews. Higgins, Sir Godfrey, Anacalypsis, Volume L, London, Volume 1, London, 1836, reprinted Brooklyn A&B Books, Publishers, 1992.
Next slide. So I'm closing out. So now let's deal with the classical scholars of that time. I mean, y'all talk about sources, right? So let's deal with eyewitness accounts. So in the history of the Jews, we got the Israelite scholar and theologian Flavius Josephus, 37 to 100 CE, wrote that the Greek philosopher Aristotle said that these Israelites are Jews derived from the Indian philosophers, and they are named by the Indians Kahani in Book 122. Interesting. You got Clericus of Salo wrote that the Israelites descended from the philosophers of India. The philosophers are called in India Kalaninians, and in Syria Jews. The name of their capital is very difficult to pronounce. It is called Jerusalem. We see Malatheanists, right, talk about the Jews were an Indian tribe or sect called Kalani, and Anacalypsis by Godfrey Higgins on volume 1, page 400. Then you can go into Martin Hain, PhD, who wrote in the sacred language writings and religions of the Persians that the Magi are said to have called their religion Kis Ibrahim. They traced their religious books to Abraham, who was believed to have brought them from heaven on page 16. Go to the next slide. We see Vlodary was in the opinion that Abraham descended from some of the numerous Brahmin priests who left India to spread their teachings throughout the world. See, so this ain't something that I'm making up. I'm not making this up. These are actual classical scholars of that time, the times of like Tacitus and all these different people. These were eyewitnesses, and they knew the history of the people. And even when you go into the book of Judith, the 5th chapter, starting at verse 7, it lets you know that the Hebrews came from the Chaldees, and the Chaldees in turn came from the Indus Valley and migrated into Mesopotamia. Next slide. No, stay there. It says right there, Barteria, the region of ancient Afghanistan, was the locality of the prototypical Israelite nation called Yehuda, also called Or Yahuda, or meant place or town. Therefore, the Bible was correct in stating that Abraham came from Or the Chaldeans, meaning the Or the Chaldeans in the Indus Valley. Go to the next slide. We see that the Persians also claim Abraham, for they found that as well as the Israelites. Thus, we see, according to all ancient history, the Persians, all these different people, the Arabians, they talk about that. They talk about all this stuff. Go to the next slide. Go to the next slide. Watch this. Go to the next slide. Okay, next slide. This is a good book to read right here, written from a Nigerian scholar by the name of Andrew Dismakun, if I'm pronouncing his name right. Africa and South America are the descendants of the Atlanteans, and what he does, and you will like this, DJ Genesis, he gets into the Ramorhos and their connection with Ifa. That's why, yeah. And that's why I put that there, because I know that you deep into the Ifa traditions, and he shows that, that the Ramorhos, and their history, they actually practice very similar teachings as the Ifa. Now let's look at the description before we go of these people. Keep going. It's coming up right there. So let's look at the description. It says the Ramorho race came into existence between 4 to 5 million years ago, at which period large portions of the great southern continent of Lemuria still existed, while the continent of Atlantis had not yet assumed the proportions it ultimately attained. It was upon the spear of this Lemurian land that the Ramorho race was born. Roughly, it may be located at latitude 7 north and longitude 5 west, which a reference to any modern atlas will show to lie on the Ashanti coast of today, meaning Ghana, West Africa. It was a hot, moist country where huge antediluvian animals lived in reedy swamps and deep forests. The Ramorho race was a dark race, their complexion being of a sort of mahogany black. Their height at these early days was about 10 to 12 feet. Truly a race of giants. Next slide.
I think that's the last.
That's it right there. I give all praise and honor to Yahweh, the supreme, intelligent, powerful one of our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, those striving for righteousness' sake. I say unto the family, Shalom Aleichem. So what I'm basically saying, right, before that you see the continents today, when we go back into our antediluvian history, we were Elohim embodied in human form, and we came on this plane of existence by the way of Mukabalite. We was neither male nor female, but an asexual being that encapsulated positive and negative polarities. And as time went on and we became more densified, coming on the material plane after a certain amount of years, the separation occurred with the Zolal, the feminine principle that came from out of Ha'adam, falsely called a rib, separated and formulated into the masculine and feminine sexes. And as time continued to develop, we born civilizations. When you go to the seventh root epic, which is 100,000 BCE, we started to branch all them civilizations that I showed. I even showed that there are civilizations even older than Kemet that we cannot get across. I've showed you, and not only just the Tanakh, but throughout the annals of history, that people all over the world understood this androgynous idea of positive and negative polarities. It didn't have anything to do with sexes. I showed that the asexual being is clearly esoterically talking about a non-sexual force. And in this retrospect, we talking Adam HaKakma. I showed that the word shalom means completeness. Shalom Aleichem is a Hebrew word that means completeness be unto you. I've continuously showed that I'm not talking about no physical hermaphroditism, transgenderism, none of that. And if any of y'all are dealing with any form of African spiritualities and teaches all African languages, whether if you talking Noahic, Cushitic, Shemitic, all these languages have masculine and feminine names. There's no it, you know what I mean? None of that stuff. It's either masculine or feminine, and that's a fact. So for people to sit back and act like what I'm saying is something far range, that is not true, because even when you go into Africa, you see the same thing that I'm saying, and I'm on the ground, and I've done the anthropological research on many tribes that believe in these same stories that I'm talking about, but it's capsulated within a cultural construct. Hallelujah. Shalom Aleichem.
All right, thank you. I think there's some people in the back that's been waiting. Ashay left, but this U.S. Freedom. What he wants to come up. Could you show your camera so we know that you're a real person? U.S. Freedom.
Yeah, we need to see you before we bring you up. Thank you.
The problem that we have there's a disconnection from the younger generation from the elder generation. And this was a part of the COINTELPRO effect. And I actually bear witness to that because when I was coming up, there was a high respect for elders, like a child stayed in a child's place. You know what I'm saying? When elders was in the building, like when you come to Demona, Israel, when an elder passed, each child gives a bow to the elders. There's a high, even over here where I'm at in Tanzania and throughout Africa, it's a high reverence for elders. We as a people, Black Americans, we have lost our way when it comes to elders. You know, we have no respect. We talk to elders any old type of way. You know what I'm saying? We disrespect them. Here go Elder Sultan right there. I never disrespected that man, not one time. And we may have differences, but he's still my elder.
Suntan is one of the brothers who was saying you were teaching transsexualism. So I'm glad he's up here.
Yeah,
I didn't say. Hey, Nepal, don't put no words in my mouth. I didn't say that. I'll tell you what I said, Prince.
Yes.
What I said was, if you know, I've got to be real frank with you. In my chain of thought, because I'm an orthodox thinker and I'm very much agnostic, and I do believe that there's a supreme God. But I want to say this to you: in my pondering and in my thinking, in my philosophical thinking, I was thought that before. It's just my personal thinking. I said to myself, and I even presented it to the pastor. I said, well, is it a possibility that, because I don't subscribe to none of these creation stories, as far as the breaking of the rib and made out the clay and out of the ocean. So I said to myself, could I offered this to the panel some years ago? I said, you think that it could be some sort of hermaphrodite creation story that, because I understand that the supreme being is spirit, it's not male, female spirit. And if you want to go as far as to come into existence with this sort of talk, you got to believe. So I don't believe in things that's not reality to me now. I came up as a Christian, man, all my life. Just found out about Kemet about 7 years ago. So I'm still on a path, and I'm not really believing anything that I hear. So my thought, Prince, was it was just a thought I threw out there. We could have came from like a hermaphrodite. I'm talking about far could have been a man and lady in one. I thought of that, but I never made that an argument or nothing like that. So that's the position that I was figuring that you was coming from. But when you spoke a bit more on it, you saying that you're not making a human, you saying this in reality is spirit that the creation came from. So I kind of understood that as well. So what I do now, Prince, instead of judging people, instead of getting into things, I sit back and I take a more philosophical thought to everything, right? And it's not the European philosophical thought, because
I understand.
Let me say this after you're done. Let me say, remember when I was saying, are you done, Suntan?
Yeah, you go ahead.
All right, remember when I was making, when I said I was acting shamefully, and I was pointing out myself earlier in the video that we played Genesis, and you remember I was like, I was tripping. Remember that? Hello? Are you muted? No, I'm talking to Genesis and everybody in the panel. And remember when I claimed that I was wrong? See, this is the reason why a lot of young people don't respect elders, because clearly King J is here and Suntan was on the bandwagon, laughing, making fun, saying, oh, he trying to teach us transsexual. So this is what we need to do as elders. When we are wrong, we need to claim it so we can continue to get respect from younger people. So as I said, I behaved badly, and I said I shouldn't have. And then Ashe said, thank you. I respect that. But when you're an elder and you jump on a panel and you cheer on somebody trying to call somebody bati boy and transsexual, and then when you're in the person's face, you claim you didn't do it, that is why we as elders don't get respect. So there's two sides. So I just want to point that out. Now we can move on. This isn't a back and forth for you, Suntan, but you 100% work on that. Anyway, moving along, Mighty Hebrew.
That's what I got a problem with, Nepal. You misrepresenting me, and I don't appreciate that. I didn't make fun of nobody. I'm just letting you know, man to woman. I don't appreciate that.
So
that's
wait,
not
everybody,
my
let me have
position.
it. We're not going to ruin the show.
Everybody else know that. I don't make fun of people. I don't do that. I wasn't on no bandwagon because I didn't even know what a bossy boy meant till they told me. So I don't know what you talking about.
Okay, I'm gonna go get the clip. We can move forward. King J, you want the clip? I'll get the clip.
No, you can't skip me.
I appreciate that. That's
okay.
all.
Moving along.
I just want to add something to Elder Sultan real quick, because he was saying about his 7 year. Much respect, Elder. Nepal Shaddai handled that, so I don't have to deal with that. But you say you deal with ancient Kemet. Are you familiar with the Neteru and the Netus?
Listen, I don't even deal with ancient Kemet. What I found out, Prince, and you can understand my chain of thought. When I was a Christian for so many years, I'm going to go through this quick. I found out that it was a civilization before monotheism. I didn't know that. I found this out 7 years ago. All right?
Okay.
So that's what brought me over to Kemet, learning, doing my chronology, man. I said, well, I'm gonna go to here and look into Kemet as well, because I said, I knew nothing about Kemet. I'm 60.
No, the reason why I asked you, Elder, is because when you understand, there's a guy by the name of R.I.S.E. He wrote books like Asarian Resurrection, Egyptian Yoga. You can go get a book by a man by Nefar Ra. He wrote Medunetta Volume 1 and 2, The Tree of Life System. And when you read about Neteru being that, what I would consider that asexual being, meaning no type of male, female anatomy or sexuality or nothing. And then you got the Netas. The Netas would be the masculine, feminine polarities from the Neteru. So the point that I'm saying and that I'm bringing up, right, is that all ancient societies had these concepts. Now, what has happened because of the uninitiated, they took, because you were speaking about the Hermaphrodite, they would see different henotheistic statues of a male and a female, and that connection, that so-called Hermaphrodite connection, and they would take it literal. But those that understood the symbolism behind it, we knew that it really didn't mean that. The ones that are taking it literal, we would consider them the profane. They are the ones that's taking these things literal. Running. There was a literal Adam and Eve. There was a literal apple. There was a talking snake, etc., etc. My point is to bring the Hebrew culture back to its Eastern thought, just like Kemet was hijacked by Europeans. I'm saying ancient Israel was also hijacked by hijackers. So just as we got our Kemetic scholars. Give a shout out to Sinjetti that know me. I know all them scholars. I've been around these people for years, and it's about growth and development. And we're saying now we are shaping Israel back to its original African Edenic heritage. All African traditions and societies have the same cosmological stories, but it's shrouded within their circumference, within their cultural structure. So for somebody, and I'm not saying you, but for somebody to say that's transgenderism, no, Europeans took
strange enough
these Eastern concepts and they perverted. Like I'm saying that these Westerners like Aleister Crowley and all them, Blavatsky, or Stenner, all these dudes, they took these things out of context and perverted them. But the truth of the subject matter, it was a high science talking about the duality of emanation from the Iron Source. Hallelujah.
I want to just say this in closing. I understand what you're saying, and just to make it short, you're saying that the things was more Eurocentric and have been co-opted, but you're trying to bring it back to be Afrocentric. So I understand that, and that's what I'm about, and I'm still on a journey. And I just for the record, I don't make no claims to nobody about what they do because I'm not nobody to judge. So whatever people do, they do it. And I sit back, okay? I don't make fun and judge people like for a fun thing. If you can believe what you want to believe, because I believe what I want to believe, and I'm agnostic. I don't know. I don't know if it's a heaven or a hell, and nobody can prove to me that it is. They can't. Right. It's a lot of things that I don't know, right? Right. And if anybody, I know I came from my mother, and so on and so forth. So, and I know that. So I'm gonna just keep living and learning, and like I said, be humble, man, and never try to win an argument.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to we're gonna go in order. I can't see that name that we let on. The first person we asked him to turn on his camera. Yes, we'll let you in, and then I think Issa Queen, and then King J in that order, if that's fine. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. This is U.S. Freedmanism, and I'll be brief. To the mighty Hebrew, my question is, if what you're saying is true, why can't you post DNA evidence of Hebrew or Indian ancestry?
Because that's a good question, and we can do that with the Sagas and other tribes over there in the Indus Valley. Our understanding, the people that you see, a lot of the people that you see over in the Indian subcontinent, along even over here in Africa, where I'm at, it's been a lot of displacement. The modern peoples that you see today in these areas, a lot of them people weren't there in ancient times. You see what I'm saying? And I want to express something about this DNA since this DNA was brought up. And I've said this more than once. There was a man by the name of Dr. Rabbi Yaakov Kleiman. And in 1997, he created what was known as the CMH, the Cohen Model Haplogroup. And his objective was to take the small hats that had the name Cohen and the small hats that had the name Levi. And what he did was he went back 4 generations and he lined them with Middle Eastern populations that had that same type of Y chromosome DNA. Okay. And what they did was they aligned and came up with what's known as J1, J2 haplogroups and haplotypes. And when you look at the study, they never took no blood samples from any ancient Israelites. All they did was went back to 4 generations. That's all they did. So when you look at these DNA studies, it only gives you an identifiable marker that you was in contact with certain people. Like I myself, I went and took and I'm an Israelite. I went and took a DNA test, okay? I went to African Ancestry out in Silver Springs, Maryland, and did the whole cotton swab and all that, and got my certificate and my CD and all that stuff. And they said that, I had contact with the Igbo from Nigeria, but it only gives me less than 1% of my DNA. It's not giving nobody a definitive. So what I'm saying is there's been a lot of displacement in history. You can go to Jerusalem, for example, or Israel.
Brother, you're going in and out.
Areas, Jerusalem prison. Oh, I'm sorry, my brother. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm going in and out. It's the reception over here in Tanzania. So even here in Tanzania, you got 125 tribes. The largest tribe is the Chaga tribe. You got the Imyombo, they're Israelites. You got the R.I.S.E, that's Israelites in Arusha. There are Israelite tribes over here in Africa. But there's been a lot of displacement through different wars, demarcation stations getting replaced, the Bantu expansion, which was several, 4 in number that I counted. So I'm on the ground and I'm seeing displacement. So what I'm saying is this DNA, when a person say take a DNA test, what I'm saying live and direct on the House of Consciousness, these biologists never took no DNA blood from any ancient Israelites and lining them up with the people that call themselves such and such. And I'm speaking like that because I'm not trying to get the channel struck. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. All they did was line up 4 generations, the J1 with the small hat, the J2 with those Middle Easterners who came by the way of the Ottoman Turkish Empire and the Christian Crusades. That's how they came about. They weren't always there. The original term for the Middle East is Northeastern Africa. We can study the flora and fauna of the Negev Desert in Jerusalem, in southern Israel, where I've been, in the Sahara Desert. It has the same animal and plant life. It has the same structure. It's Northeastern Africa. The term Middle East came through the British. That was a geopolitical term. That is not the original name of that region.
Brother, allow me to say one sentence and pass the mic. Because you already admitted that your DNA test traced you to the Igbo of Nigeria. So when you say that you have Hebrew ancestry and Indian ancestry, you're speculating without any genetic evidence.
I never said I had Indian. So let's make it clear. You can't. I see, bro. I just told you that the people was displaced. So what you see today wasn't there yesterday. I clearly said that I go back to the ancient Yadavas. The ancient Yadavas are not there no more. The ancient Yadavas, you remember when we read the history of Homer and Herodotus, did we not read that they said that there were 2 Ethiopians, the Eastern Ethiopians and the Western Ethiopians, and these Ethiopians that they were talking about, there was a group of Hebrews from Tamar-Nadu, from the region of Ur and Tamar-Nadu, known as the Yadavas, those that stayed in the Indus Valley that later became, different other black people. They were known as the Oriental or the Eastern Ethiopians, and those that migrated west, like Abraham and all of them, they became known as Western Ethiopians. And today, they are known today as many of the Bantu speaking tribes. I did a presentation, a live presentation on FOP Israelites, along with the Lions Den when I went to Dimona, Israel, and I interviewed prominent scholars throughout Africa that came to the New World Passover, Royal House families from Ghana, amongst the Ashanti, the Akan, the Iwi, the Fanti, that was there. You can go right now on FOPE Israelites and type of Mighty Hebrew and Israelite family, and they come up, and they was breaking down how they migrated into these different regions of Central Africa, Eastern Africa, and Western Africa. So just like I said, I am not looking for a DNA of modern people. I am looking at the social construct, the conditions of the people through a social anthropological research on the ground. And one more thing I want to say to the people. No, I just want to say this one more thing. There was a historian by the name of Adad the Danite of the 9th century ACE, and he spoke about the Israelite presence throughout East Africa. And them locations, I visit them locations. I recorded it. It's on YouTube. And guess what? Israelite communities live in them same areas where Adad the Danite said that they were at when he went there in the 9th century ACE. Hallelujah.
Wasn't all of Africa, like a large portion of Africa, considered Ethiopia at one point? Like the majority of Africa, like wasn't Ethiopia what they called Africa to be before they called it Africa?
Yeah, that was another name.
Call out.
I can't. I didn't get the answer to the question. I'm sorry.
Bro, the point is you're Igbo, not Hebrew. Be proud of yourself and your actual ancestors. You don't gotta cosplay, respectfully.
And let me respond to that again. If you understand DNA, like you say, I took
Mighty
the
Hebrew, you
DNA.
ain't got to
It only
respond to
gives.
him because
It
he done switched his name. He done
Is
switched
is
his.
this a smoke session for him,
Come
or you
on,
got my
man. Let him
name in the
talk.
comment
Yeah,
in the
because you
title?
got Igbo sets
Wait,
that
what's going
acknowledge
on?
that they're
I'm sorry, I
Israelites.
left. We gotta. We want to keep order, and Sonnen is
No,
watching. He wanted me to come in, so Ashe is really gonna. Mighty Hebrew's calling out Ashe. Ashe is gonna address his information. So that's where we are right now. Everybody got to speak or no?
No, I think U.S. Freedom said something, and then I guess he's been kind of going back and forth. But Ashe is the one who wants to debate Mighty Hebrew, correct?
Right. Let's let people who, because Ashe's the main person. So I know I see Issa Queen. I don't know if King J spoke, and we have Harwin. So can we just let them ask their quick? I don't think they're going to take long. If that's cool with both you, Ashe and Mighty Hebrew. So let's go to Issa Queen, and then we go to King J Harwin, and then I want the two Mighty Hebrew and Ashe to just have the floor after that. So Issa Queen, if you're still there, thank you for waiting. What did you want to add?
Thank you. Peace to the panel. And yes, I'm going to be really quick. I don't disagree with the esoteric conversation that you were having, especially since I believe spirituality is open for interpretation. But the part of the presentation that kind of took me aback was the evolution portion of it and the out of Africa portion of it. For one, you use Michael Cremo, which is not an archaeologist. He's an author. And that's one of the big misconceptions that will happen in this presentation. And his information has been debunked, especially when it comes to Ramapithecus, which is in your presentation. It literally says an ancestor of the orangutan. It doesn't say the human. Right. So that was literally in your presentation. And that is the scientific consensus when it comes down to Ramapithecus, that it is an orangutan ancestor, not one of ours. And because if you would have looked into the findings that they found after that jaw that they pieced together, they found a whole jaw. Right. And in that jaw, that was more ape-like, unlike Australopithecus, that was a transitional jaw from being ape-like to human-like. And that's why, the evolution of the human species is still firmly placed in Africa. And lastly, the ghost DNA part that you were talking about. Ghost DNA is literally just saying that we have the DNA in our DNA code, but we just haven't found the archaeological evidence for it. For example, Denisovan itself was a ghost DNA for a very long time, until 2008, when we actually found the bones to match that DNA with the DNA that is within us. And lastly, when it comes to the database for DNA to, figure out your heritage, they have DNA going all the way back to before the Iron Age when it comes down to the DNA that they compare to people of today. It's not just 4 generations back in Israel. They go all the way back to the Chalcolithic period. So if you don't have that DNA strand that goes all the way back there and it's still just showing you Igbo, or Yoruba, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention at that point. Your DNA firmly plants itself in Africa, but the Hebrew Israelite lineage itself is still placing itself in the Levant on the other side of the Arabian Peninsula. I land.
Okay, I'll let you respond to her, Mighty
Thank you,
Hebrew, and then we're
sister.
gonna go to King J.
I definitely appreciate your response. You're absolutely correct about Michael Creamer. I definitely stand correct. He is a researcher, but I know the co-authors of his research, he was an archaeologist, but Michael Creamer is an American researcher. You're absolutely correct. What I place is what is known as a comparative study. What I've done is the same thing that Dr. Yusuf A. did. If you look at African origins or the major Western civilization, mother civilization, when he dealt with Australopithecus and the history, he dealt with it based on a comparative study. And that's what I did tonight. I'm highly familiar with the ghost gene DNA, along with the R.I.S.E DNA. I'm hip to all that, the Sun tribe, some of the Yorubas, certain West African tribes hold that ghost gene DNA. So I'm highly familiar with that. And speaking of certain DNA that go back to the Iron Age and all that, I'm speaking about the Israelites and Dr. Rabbi Yaakov Kleiman. When you study the people that now live in Israel, right? And you even have those that at the Johns Hopkins Institute who contest against those that live over there, their DNA don't trace back to the biblical Israelites. It just doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Even their own scholars and their own professors and their own people are actually saying these things. And when you speak about the Levant, I'm saying that the Levant is northeastern Africa. Now, you might want to say, oh, this is the Middle East. And then I'll say, well, where's the Middle North, the Middle South, the Middle West? And who gave it that term, the Middle East? And what was the reason for giving it that name, which we know come from the British? You see what I'm saying? Prior to that and the excavation of the Suez Canal, Israel was landlocked with the rest of the continent. Let me ask you a question, sister. Have you ever been to Israel?
No, but geography shows me that the Arabian Peninsula is a natural border between those two spaces.
Yes.
So
yes,
when it comes down to like how evolution works, they are evolving in different spaces, just like in Africa where you have like different mountain ranges and tropical rainforests and all of those things that separate different tribes that, kind of shift and change their DNA within Africa. That happens outside of it too.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
Well, Mighty Hebrew, I want to ask you a question just to move this along.
Yes.
Can we confuse geography with cartography when we're talking about this conversation?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Yes, we can. The reason why I'm saying this, because we know that Europeans created certain demarcation stations to control the element. Do you know, my sister, when the term the Middle East came into existence, that term? Are you there, my beloved sister?
Yes, I'm here. And no, not exactly.
Okay, so you don't know the name it was called before the Middle East, correct?
I'm pretty sure it had many names over the time period that we're talking about.
Because it was known to the people as Northeastern Africa before the Middle East. You do know that, right? Because it sits directly on the African tectonic plate. And when we look at the flora and fauna of the Negev Desert in southern Israel, and in Dimona, where I stay at, because I stay here in Tanzania, along with Dimona, Israel, when you look at the animal and plant life, my beloved sister, it's the same thing. Even when you look at the indigenous populations in Israel, like the Afro-Palestinians, you go to the Ishmaelite tribes with Sheikh Ahmed and all of them, and the Black Bedouins, they say, and they even have rights to the land, that they've been there thousands of years before any European powers even came in. And that's a historical fact.
Do you want to address the comment also that is on the screen?
That's correct. It says it sits on the TikTok. Yeah, it says it sits on the tectonic plates of Africa, which is absolutely correct.
But it doesn't, though. It doesn't. And if you Google it, it doesn't.
We're going to move on to King J. I'm going to let Issa Queen have her last statement. But this is definitely a conversation that you can have with Mighty Hebrew if you'd like, Issa Queen. I would love to have you both come in and do this. So, what's your final statement? It's a queen, and then I just want to, because I think Ashe is getting I don't want him to leave again. I think he left again. Are you still here?
Yeah, he's coming in and out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Go ahead,
still
Queen.
here.
I just wanted to show this right quick. It says,
this
yes, the majority of Israel lies on the African plate, specifically the Sinai subplates.
Yeah, it does.
So just
Yep, that's what I said. The subplate.
The
African
country
subplate.
straddles a major geological boundary. The eastern part of Israel and the Jordan Valley sits on the Arabian plate. So,
Yeah, that's a geographical fact.
Yep.
Yeah, we can't confuse cartography with geography.
Doesn't make it African though.
Let me let her finish because she has a final statement. The sister, it's a queen, and then King J, we're gonna go to you, and you can. Sounds like you want to come in and talk about that as well. It's a queen. What would you like to say? Your final point.
Yeah, so I'm not confusing the two. So what I'm saying about the Arabian Peninsula is that once you get outside of Africa, because I don't consider that area Africa, and I understand that parts of Israel absolutely can sit on the African plate. That's debatable, but at the same time it also sits on the Arabian plate as well, and then there's a micro plate as well that it lines up under. It lines over. So there's a lot of like intricate details that goes into that specific area because of how the plate tectonics is working. I don't consider it, but that's my personal thing. So I could take full credibility for that. But lastly, when I was saying about the DNA and the Arabian Peninsula separating two groups of people, like we know in evolution that when you have something blocking two groups from being able to breed openly, right? It creates a separation and it creates different DNA types. And that's why I'll be saying that it's kind of different, especially when you start going further and further into, these areas, especially since a lot of those people before it became Israel absolutely, mixed in with other archaic human beings, as we read earlier. So it does make them a little bit different. That's all I was saying. I landed.
Thank you. Oh, one day you get a chance, sister, maybe you can come visit our community in Dimona, Israel, and go through our sacred visitation tour where we show you the indigenous Black populations, and they look just like your Black Americans next door.
Okay, thank you so much. Go ahead.
Ashe is saying that he don't want to come up because he's going last. I'm trying to explain to him, no, this is his commentary. You're supposed to be setting up a debate. So you got to come up here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Genesis. Ashe, we wanted to get the people like It's a Queen and everybody who hit the panel, let them ask their questions, and then you are just going to be the primary person up here with him. So if you just have a little more patience, we appreciate it because, he went through his presentation. You have your points. We do want to hear from you. Definitely. So it's not about you, save the best for last. You get what I'm saying? So I appreciate you if you do come back. Let's get to King J and Harwin. Let's keep in mind the time and, as far as what's going on with Ashe. But thank you for your patience. Go ahead, King J.
Well, peace to the panel, peace to the chat. I would just forego my little turn in order to get Ashe to jump back on, and he can have my turn because I feel like he should be here to address, Mighty Hebrew man to man. He did make some claims in regards to, the presentation that the Mighty Hebrew presented, and I think that he kind of cleared it up in regards to, the androgynous nature, in regards to spirits not having genders and things of that nature, in regards to the Bati Boy doctrine that, he claimed that the Mighty Hebrew had, So I think he should just come on up and then y'all could go. I don't got nothing to say. I'm just here to.
Yeah, hey, I'm with King J. I'll forego what I have to say if Ashe come back.
Okay. All right, guys. Okay, so While you go, Harwin, get your question in until Ashay comes back. Oh, he's here. All right, Harwin. So go ahead. Genesis,
Go
take
ahead, I
over
said.
for a
Y'all got
second.
it. First of all, I'm gonna start off with my aunt crying. With my aunt crying, I'm gonna cry like Ankh and say y'all don't do Ankh like that. If it was an Ankh call out, Ankh would have went first. That's the only reason I'm like this. I feel like I should have went first. I should have a direct response. I don't want to even seem like I'm regurgitating everybody's stuff. I shouldn't go last. Me and him should have this back and forth, and then everybody comment off that back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So I had mad notes for you because it was, to be real talk, it was like Madam Blavatsky and Dr. York had a child. So first of all, we starting off like this. I'm sharing screen because I want to address the craziness that happened off top. Yes, on the show that y'all. Let's go to the first little thing that y'all showed, which was the Luca thing, right? This is Luca, right? Let's get that down. What y'all got up here? What y'all got up here? Who got their screen shared? Genesis, is that your screen? See this? Luca. What is Luca? And is a human being? Is he human? Luca is not a human. Like I asked on the panel. Ain't that what I asked? I'm talking about far as humans go. Luca is not a human. It stands for the last universal common ancestor, like the sister said, a microscopic single-cell organism that lived roughly 4 billion years ago and served as the Earth's evolutionary ancestor of all living things on Earth. That couldn't dare be Adam. That couldn't dare be Adam. Want to know why? Because the animals came before him. The plants came before him. He came last. So when that man got there talking about, according to the first beings, the first humans were asexual, that was not true. You will not find an asexual human being. That's made up. Craziness. Keep on going. More notes. What else did you say? The Israelites would have had even knowledge of Luca back in the day. How would they have been able to measure and analyze cells to even be referring to such a thing?
Talking not right
That's
now.
part of the scammery. That's part of the scammery to me.
All right, baby, bye.
So let's keep on going. Right? So in according to the video, if you watch the video, Nepal herself even said that your presentation was theosophical. Now, since we had do you mind, Sister Genesis, do you mind doing something for me? Because you was looking up a lot of stuff while the brother was on. Do you mind looking up something for me?
Sure.
Would you do you mind looking up who coined root race theory? And can you share your screen for the family? Oh, it's gonna get good. Oh, it's about to get good.
Okay, root race theory was coined by Helena. Can you guys see my screen?
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Helena Petrova Blavatsky, a co-founder of the Theosophical Society, she detailed the concept in her 1888 book, The Secret Doctrine. Theosophical root races: first race, Polarian, ethereal, non-physical beings; second race, Hyperborean, lived
Hyperborean, Lemurian, like he was referencing within his presentation. Lemurian, Hyperborean.
Yeah, lived on the lost northern land. Third race, Lemurian, associated with the lost continent of Lemuria. Fourth race, Atlantean, linked to the myth of Atlantis. Fifth race, Aryan, our current stage of human development.
So we see right here, he was using that term root race the entire time. Can you take that down? Thank you, sister. I really appreciate that. And his own presentation, the root race. He even showed a book that said the root race. You show your screen again. I mean, pull your screen up again. Mighty Hebrew, show him the book again. The root race book. Show him. Show him how you up here regurgitating European doctrine as well. While you up here talking about westernized civ and all of this, you are up here yourself dealing with the root race.
We talk about
these races right there and sub races. That was one of them. You even had a book on it. So, there you go. The Lemurian, the Atlantean.
I'm just letting you cook, and when you done, then
I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I think that's very genuine of you. I thank you for that. You know, I'm not trying to be long. I'm gonna just run it real quick. So we gonna bring that down, brother. I really appreciate that, right? So it's funny because I had a presentation coming up myself where I go in on H.P. Blavatsky and her work. You showed this right here on the right, the same joint, the polar race, Hyperborean race. But what kind of like scared me was the way that you tried to change it and the way that you flipped it and to fit your own narrative. And you got to add all of these other things on it. So that was crazy. So you hit us with this. So we got the whole theosophical root race theory, and we know it was coined by Helena P. Blavatsky. So we know that that's what you're dealing with, right? Then you hit us with the ethereal being package, which is more like on the lines of Dr. York. Harwin, you study with the Nuwapians, so you know what I mean. Because I study with the Nuwapians as well. So we already know that this is dealing with that. He's dealing with that. He's in that realm of these ethereal beings. Then it was getting even worse because we got to talking about the Sanskrit and how the word man, you even said like the word man derives from the Sanskrit word manu. That will be impossible. That would be impossible. Why is that impossible, Ashe? Because we didn't even start translating the Sanskrit into the English until about, predominantly, far as like cross-contextualized to the point we're doing things like this until the late 1800s. So for you to believe that the word man appeared around that time because they got it from that would be insane. That don't work. You did something with the orangutan thing that was even more crazier. You said because they put the what was the name? Rama within the name that mean that it has some type of relation. That can't be true. Tyrannosaurus Rex, the Rex in Tyrannosaurus Rex means king. Does that mean that the T-Rex got a royal bloodline, regalia, you got a crown? No, that's not what that means. The Nile River was named after the Greek spirit deity Nilos. Does that mean that Nilos is inhabited? No, that's not what that means. So let's not jump the pseudo route. Let's not jump that. Then you said also that you were saying that the Indus Kush Valley. Let me share my screen again. I'll share my screen again. Because everything you're saying, I'm just looking up. And what we want to do is we want to avoid being crazy when we come out here like this. So let's go to the Indus civilization. Is the Indus Valley civilization older than the Nile Valley? Say, come on, we all knew the answer to this. No. The standard consensus in mainstream archaeology and history is that the Nile Valley ancient Egypt civilization is slightly older than the mature Indus Valley civilization. Let's keep going down because they even mentioned pre-dynastic. Unification early, that's 3100 BCE. Pre-dynastic farming cultures along the Nile date back to earlier to roughly 6000 BCE. The early regional development phase, early Harappan, began 3300 BCE. Nowhere up in here is even hitting close to that 6000 that we see with pre-dynastic Kim. So you jumped out the window with that. We go keep on going because I got some more stuff that I was just looking up as you was going. And I'm like, when is he going to stop? Right? When you shared your screen, it said Tiwanaku pharaohs. That's what your screen said. Tiwanaku pharaohs. I'm like, okay, let's check the brother out. Tiwanaku pharaohs. What's that all about? Came to find out I was getting scammed again. There were no pharaohs in Tiwanaku, as pharaohs are exclusive to ancient Egypt. The Tiwanaku civilization was a pre-Columbian Andean society in Bolivia, not a monarchy with god kings. Right? So this is getting wild. And so it's going to get even wilder. When you said this, it pissed me off a little bit. Nagas. Now, I want to ask the family before I even say anything. Does anybody here know what a Nagini is? Going once? Twice. Does anybody know what a Nagini is?
We just letting you cook, man. And we letting you cook. Go
you
ahead.
ask questions. I can't ask questions too.
Oh yeah, but if nobody answers you, that means
Chase, we're gonna close it. Sonetta has said Morpheus, so I'm just letting you go. I don't want anybody to take you off your path. You know when we start
okay, that's cool. Thank you. Right. So a Nagini is a female Naga. But what is the classification of Naga? We can't start looking at people's cultures and then trying to change somebody's culture and what they mean when they talking. A Naga is a divine or semi-divine mythical creature from South and Southeastern Asia traditions that takes the form of a serpent or a half-human all the time. Half-snake being. That's what they are. They're not people. This was not symbolic. You can't show me where the symbolism is. They dwelled within the lower locus. Like to an ignorant person, that might have flew. And you might have got away with that. But a Naga is not a human being. It's not a person, and it's not a royal title that they used. A Naga within their culture is literally a half human, half serpent. None of those came to Kemet and introduced nothing to nobody. That ain't true. And just because you see serpent attached to somebody does not mean that they are serpent people. For the Native Americans has Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent. Does that make them Nagas? No, it does not. When we looking at the R.I.S.E, right? That don't make them a Naga. That's crazy work. I'm gonna land it right here and I'm gonna give it back to you. I'm gonna give it right back to you with this one. This is genuine. Why within the whole bill we don't get any Sanskrit Indian words far as who you are, who you guys are? What is this? What would be the Sanskrit word for Israel? Because I noticed you kept that. What would be the Sanskrit word for Jerusalem? I'm noticed that you keeping that. You know, why is it all these things we see are more associated with the Levantine Canaanite people instead of this whole Indus Valley culture that you're talking about? Okay, I lied. I land right here. Because we only see one mention of India within the whole joint, and that's the book of Esther, which is an additional text. We know that Esther is an additional text. So where are you even getting India from? That's not even within that definitely ain't in the Pentateuch. That ain't an original Torah. Where are you getting India from? Go ahead, man.
You done?
I'm done.
Okay, yo, let's go from the back to the front. So you speaking about the book of Esther. If you go and get the Dead Sea Scrolls, the book of Esther is there. That's number one. Number two, I've subscribed to the Tanakh. So we talking about from Bereshit to the Chronicles, which we know you got the Torah, the prophets, and the writings. So when you throw something out there, like y'all got to really listen to people. Yeah, you throw out there Esther wasn't a part of the Pentateuch, which Pentateuch is a Greek word that means 5. You really mean to say the Torah, okay? No, none of the writings of the what you know as Joshua, Chronicles, Kings is a part of the Torah Constitution, but it's a part of our history. And what I'm saying to you is when you make a statement like Esther wasn't a part of the Pentateuch, correct, but it was a part of the Tanakh canon. And if it wasn't, you got to show and prove that. You can't just throw something out there and think it's not going to be challenged. Real quick, DJ Genesis, I sent to you an article from the Times of India, Indus Valley Civilization, 8,000 years old, could be much older than the first Egyptian pharaohs. See, the thing with you, that's not cooking, man. You can't just go on there, Google something real fast, and that's that. No, you never, everything you did, you said something that you read, you ain't give us some source material, you ain't do anything. See, I catch these things very easy, man. You know what I'm saying? So real quick, DJ Genesis, let's build this thing up. I'm gonna show you how to do with source material, man. You're not gonna come up here and just type up something real quick and say something and then that's it, we run with that. Can you read that real quick, real fast? And then you didn't even get to all the other old civilizations that I spoke about that's older than Kemet. What about the pre-Haraparian civilization known as Hopra, going back to 9,600 BCE? You didn't touch on any of the civilizations that were brought up, the archaeological research. So can you read this to the people real quick? Because one thing about me is, and like the brother said, that was a good catch. You know what I mean? Y'all ain't catch it. He just throwing all this stuff and ain't giving no source. No source.
She could have brought up Jericho too.
Coming to me like that.
Okay, let's get it. We wrap it up.
Jericho dates about 9,000 BC.
We wrapping it up. Okay, read this.
No, we're not wrapping. I'm saying, listen, we're on a time constraint, but I just want to say, keep it in mind that we got a show coming up. But keep cooking. I want you guys to keep going back and forth. This is great. So Go ahead.
And this is only a treat. This will never happen again. This is only a treat. Next time the brother want to talk, he can talk to some of the brothers his age. You know what I'm saying? But let's deal with this. Read the top real quick, DJ Genesis, and let's read. This is how you deal with primary sources, man. You don't just come up here and just say something and go run and talk about. And I'm going to get with that Blavatsky thing. You really think that Blavatsky found the 7 root races? No, she did not. It's just being coined to her. She found it as it pertained to Western theosophy, and that's where you fucking up at. But go ahead and read.
Right. 8,000-year-old Indus Valley civilizations could be older than the first Egyptian pharaohs. The research suggests that Indus Valley civilization could be far older than previously believed, not just by a few centuries, but by thousands of years. Experts studying pottery, tools, and animal remains at Birana in northern India say the roots of this ancient society may stretch back around 8,000 years. If confirmed, that would place its earliest beginnings well before the era of Egypt's pharaohs.
If confirmed.
Listen. These people, most of the consensus over here in the East agree that the Indus Valley is older. Now, it's the Western academic consensus that's still going back and forth. But most of the scholars now are leaning towards the Indus Valley being older. See, what you did was you just typed up something real quick instead of going into the articles. Put the
what
page
was the
back.
name of the source? They didn't even give you a definite.
It's there. It's there. Go. It disappeared. It's there.
You took it down, didn't you?
So it's 8,000 BC. That's the as far back as that's what you're thinking is the first. Or what's going on here with this?
No, I mean he's saying it's older than Egypt, pre-dynastic Egypt as well. And I what's the name of your source? Hold on, wait, bro. Hold on 1 second, brother, because you. First of all,
I didn't cut you off.
He needs to get it all out, and then it's you and him. So let him get it all out, Shane. Please.
Young brother, you had your chance to shine, and I let you shine, and you just pulled up some stuff you Google real quick, and you ain't get no sources, none of that. You can't clean it up now. Go ahead, finish on, my sister. It's giving you the sources right there. Come on, I'm gonna get some more. Keep going. I'm listening.
All right, so for decades, school textbooks has placed the great civilization of ancient world in an order from first Mesopotamia, then Egypt with its pyramids and pharaohs, and alongside them the Indus Valley civilization. This timeline study may now be shifting, as the research suggests, prompting historians to reconsider how interconnected and advanced early societies may truly have been, and what that implies about the spread of technology and culture and governance. So are we trying to find out the source of like?
You want to finish? Go back up to Indus Valley.
Okay.
You want to on that, right there.
Okay. The Indus Valley civilization, also known as Harappan civilization, flourished roughly between 2600 and 1900 BC. At its height, it covered vast areas, which is now Pakistan and northwest India. It has long been recognized as one of the world's earliest urban cultures. Fresh carbon dating at Birana, however, is publishing that timeline further back. Researchers from the Archaeological Survey of India and collaborating institutions analyzed pottery, fragments, and animal bones from deep settlement layers. Radiocarbon results suggest occupation dating back nearly 9,000 years before present. The findings published in scientific reports, I'm not sure if this is the report or not, indicate that organized communities in the region may have formed.
Yeah, that's the report. So the article's almost done if you go back to it.
Okay, I was trying to. I was.
Sounds like he legit. Like he
What year is that from?
Yeah, go ahead and accept that so they can, real quick, excuse me, I'm sorry, accept the cookie so we can see, so people can source it out, so Shay can see the source, everybody.
The Times of India?
Right.
The Times of India, this is written by who?
No, it's right here. It's right here. Oxygen isotope and archaeological bioappetites from Indians implicate the climate change and decline of Bronze Age Harappan civilization.
Okay, so get back to the article, and then we'll let Mighty Hebrew is gonna finish up, and then we're gonna go to Ashe, and then we're gonna try to get this wrapped.
So I think they were that article was based on this scientific study.
So is that good? We're good with this. We're done with this article.
hold on, and it's one more article. It's one more article because in the Hebrew culture, we deal with 2 to 3 witnesses. So I can't just give one source. So
okay,
could you
share the
type
other
in
article.
real quick? Yes,
Sorry.
DJ Genesis, I need for you to type in Indus Valley civilization could be much older than what we thought in the Deacon Chronicle. It's spelled Deccan Chronicle. And then you're going to type next to it, Indus Valley civilization could be much older than we thought. Watch this, y'all. This is how I do things. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want, people to think I'm just making up anything. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Boom. Right?
I don't know why I'm getting all these ads or something. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah,
Okay,
that joint be
I must
giving
have
that
downloaded
look, and
something. That's crazy. But there
you
you go.
might have, and look, and it's giving you what they. Yeah. I just want them to see, like, I'm not just making that up when I say that the Indus Valley is older than Kemet. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not just coming out of my mouth and saying that. And you know what's real deep about the conversation that you said, brother, that you might not recognize, right? Hold on. It's something you may not have recognized. You remember when you said about the word the now? That was very interesting when you made that statement about the now. I found that very interesting. But do you know how they found out about the source of the now? Are you familiar with that?
The source of the
Are you
Nile was
familiar
Lake
with?
Victoria. The source of the Nile was Lake Victoria. Let's get you back on topic.
Yeah, Mighty Hebrew,
No.
remember, don't ask questions, just go and put it in.
Okay. Because I was going to let you know that they used the source of the Nile. They actually used it, Hindu Brahmanistic records to find the source of the Nile, which we know is in Lake Victoria. You know what I'm saying? And if you need that source, I can definitely source that up very easy for you.
You need to be clearer when you say Brahmic, because you might think they understand that means Indus Valley reference. You got to be clear in Brahmic when you say that. Mighty Hebrew.
Okay, my sister.
They might not know what you mean by Brahmic.
Yes.
This is crazy. We watching.
Okay.
We watching every source he's pulling up is
what
saying.
I do is
saying could and maybe. Then he turned it around and
let you
putting
just
an
talk,
absolute
man.
on it.
And when you finish,
that's crazy.
Let me know.
Like that's 4K scamming. Everything he's saying, King J talking about, he's pretty legit. That's wild as hell. And if I was up here talking about could and maybe, come on, bro, stop doing that.
What part do you dispute? What part do you dispute?
The entire claim. It's not a solid claim. It's not a concrete claim. I mean, it's not concrete evidence.
Okay, did you look at the paper? Did you look at the paper with the?
Yes, and it's.
You read it already? I didn't even read it
several times. Every single title said what? The Indus Kush Valley could be. Why is not one statement saying what he's saying is speaking in the absolute? That's my why. So your source don't match what's coming out of your mouth. I won't show y'all something that say something could be something and then tell you that it is.
Right. Right. You notice I never interrupted you. You notice that? But I wanted to school you on a little something. I got this book here called India Once Ruled the Americas by Glenn D. Matlock. Y'all can put my screen up real quick. Can y'all put the screen up real quick so everybody can see?
Yeah, you mean in big screen?
I just want to school you on something real quick. You see that right there? You see this book right here? All right, by Glenn D. Matlock. And I'm on page 2 real quick. I got an outline. I want to share something with you real quick, right? Because you brought up the now. Listen to this real quick. In an essay entitled On Egypt from the Ancient Book of the Hindus. No, it's fine. It's fine. I just wanted y'all to see the book. I wanted y'all to see the book, but I'm reading from out the book. I keep my screen up so y'all can see that I'm reading from out the book, okay? All right. So it says, in an essay entitled On Egypt from the Ancient Book of the Hindus, Asiatic Researchers, Volume 3, 1792, British Lieutenant Colonel Francis Wiltfield gave abundant evidence providing that the ancient Indians colonized from the Indus Valley and settled in Egypt. The British explorer John Hanning Speke, who in 1862 discovered the source of the Nile in Lake Victoria, acknowledged that the Egyptians themselves didn't have the slightest knowledge of where the Nile source was. However, Lieutenant Colonel Winfield's description of the Hindus' acquaintances with ancient Egypt led Speke to Robin Falls and the edge of Lake Victoria. I just wanted to let you know that. But continue to cook, brother. And when you finish, and when you fully finish, then I can say what I need to say.
Okay, before you go, Ashe, this is your closeout.
Yep.
Getting from the above to wrap it up, and then you do your full closeout, no interruption, and then Mighty Hebrew closeout, no interruption, and then we got to shut it down. So take him off the big screen, please, Genesis, would you? Take Mighty Hebrew down so we can see everybody. Thank you. All right, Ashe.
I want y'all to notice that this is not a rebuttal to the information that I brought out within my presentation on the Bati Boy doctrine that he was out here kicking, promoting transism. That's this whole gimmick that he just showed y'all with the Indian, the language. Talk about those asexual beings that you said God created in the beginning, brother. That's the issue at hand. That's what's going on. This root race doctrine, this all of this Dr. Yorick, Madame Blavatsky, that's the issue. You up here talking about the Hebrews was Indians and Indians older than Kemet. So what? What does that have to do with your scriptures? What does that have to do with these ridiculous claims that you're making, bro? That's what I'm saying. And then what evidence do you have behind that itself? Now, can you go to any type of early hominid and show this hominid right here? This will be Adam or some of his descendants because they were asexual. Well, where's you getting that from? You kicking Jewish mysticism, bro. And you know you doing it. And it's sad you're doing it. It's Jewish mysticism wrapped up with the Helena Blavatsky theosophy, because people don't know that Helena Blavatsky moved to Theosophical School to India. So that's when she started kicking and making India just like he's making the central space of spirituality. This is what she said. She met the Mahatmas and all of this stuff that they was over in India. So the fact that he's moving that there, moving the Hebrew Israelites out of Canaan, when you look up in any linguistic book, any historical book, and you look up their emergence, you will see out of them Canaan highlands every time, right? Every time you look at it, he's trying to move them over here and then say it's esoteric, metaphysic. Bro, that's wrong. That's wild. I won't go too much in because I actually got an entire presentation for this behavior. So just tap in tomorrow and I'm gonna go in because this was a whole lot of gumbo. It was Dr. York, Helena Blavatsky, he had Plato in there. I was just wondering when was you gonna get to some original Hebrew teachings? You up here talking about all of these you show Adam, the anatomical Adam. What was you doing? A lot of that, bro, came from the very same people that you talk against. It's one thing to do it, but it's one thing to step in hypocrisy when you're doing it. I yield.
Okay, thank you. I say, come on in, Mighty Hebrew, your final.
Yeah. DJ Genesis, put my PowerPoint back up. I just want to close out and just show a couple of clippings because I'm closing out. Yo, my brother, why did you drop the ball like that, man? You was just blabbing. You wasn't like, oh my God. Yo, okay, now scroll, keep scrolling. This is what I'm saying to you. We're going to keep going. It's coming. Keep going. Okay, keep going. Right there. Right. Go back. Keep going. Go back some more. One more time. Okay, stop. So, this guy hasn't dealt with any primaries, man. No, not that. The one after that. Go right after that. The Tamadu tools. Keep going. You went too far. Right there, right there. So you had the opportunity to show and prove, but you was blabbing and talking about Blavatsky created the 7 root races, which she did not. If you ever read The Secret Doctrine, I would question you and ask, do you understand archaic symbolism? And if you do, who taught you? When you read The Secret Doctrine, volume 1 and 2, you have what is known as the stanza of Zion, which she got from the Indian subcontinent. And then you have the commentary. When you read it without the commentary, they speak about these 7 root cycles. You can find this in Buddhism. You can find it in Brahmanism. These things existed before Blavatsky. When you look all throughout ancient Eastern societies, they talked about the same 7 root cycles in different terms. You might add the 7 menorah candlestick, the 7 days of creation, the 7 cycles, the 7 heavens. This 7 has always existed, so we got to chill. So right here, when we get into science today, which is a prominent scientific text magazine book, and it talks about the tools of Taman Nadu going back 1 million BCE. You haven't even dealt with the early Pestilene presence of hominids in South India dealing with tools. Go to the next slide. These are primary sources that I pulled up that you never even address. You're not addressing anything, man. Keep going. Because I just look at all these civilizations. What about in the early? No, go back, because I want him to see these things that he haven't even dealt with. Yeah, you didn't deal with the early, middle, Paleolithic cultures of India going back 335,000 years that I brought up. You haven't dealt with any of that. Go to the next slide. Go to the next slide. Because I'm scientists. Look, I proved about Max Muller, how he created the Aryan myth, that, and then I use East Indian scholars, right? East Indian scholars out of their own mouth came at Max Muller. He was a racist, man, and he took the Dravidian / Brahmanistic caste system that was dealing with status and made it into race. Are you with me? You haven't even dealt with that. Go to the next slide. Keep going, because I want to show more archaeology. Keep going. He never brought up anything archaeological to me. Keep going. Stop. Go back.
Because that wasn't in my presentation.
It doesn't matter. You had the time. Nope. See how you.
So why are you cutting me?
I never cut you once.
I didn't talk about.
This is where maturity. But this is where maturity comes in, young Lord. But this is all. But this is all.
You deflecting. You deflecting, bro. You deflecting. No, you deflecting. Pointing us. You pointing us in the direction of geography.
You still talking on young brother. Young brother, I never interrupted you. But young brother, go ahead and say what you need to say once again, so then I can finish what I have to say. No, go back there, DJ Genesis.
You just do your thing, bro. I'm gonna do a show tomorrow. You just do your thing.
Yeah. Do you want to do it on here, or are you gonna go to rhetoric? You can come do both.
I'm gonna do it with the big boys. I'm gonna do it with y'all.
All right, good. Okay. So set it up. Okay.
It was definitely an honor. It was definitely an honor to talk to you.
Yeah, let's close out.
You as well, bro.
Yeah, I just want to finish saying all these artifacts, information I show, and also before you go, could you move up a little bit more forward, DJ Genesis, real quick? Before you, I need you to push it up a little forward. Stop there. What about the Hawk Rock civilization of 9,600 BC? Keep going. Keep going. Because you said I never made mention. Now, if you want to start talking about,
man, you're breaking up a lot.
It's the delays in Africa, y'all.
Sanskrit words for Jerusalem and all. Keep going, because you didn't even address the classical scholars that all stated that the ancient Hebrews go back to the Indus Valley. You didn't even address Josephus, who said it. Josephus said it, and all these scholars, even
Show me
back
where
in them
Josephus
times,
said that,
saying the
bro.
same thing. So why are you acting like I'm just making it up? Okay, go ahead. Okay, okay, yup, it's in book 122. Go look it up. Yeah. Why I got to tell you these things? You supposed to know these things.
He said that in Antiquities?
We're going to find out. Keep going. And that, them people that you pulled up and try to add it to that, that's two different people. But either or, keep going. I'll get into that another time.
What did I say tabernacle, though? That's tabernacle. That's what they said, though.
Yeah, but that was the wrong one. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. It's coming. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. And that was dealing with the ore. That's the black blood. Like right there. Right there. Go back. Go back. Go back. You was just there. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. A couple more times. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, my fault. The next one. Go. No, other way.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, one more time. I'm sorry. One more time. Right there. So you got, these are classical scholars, my young Lord. Listen to me, Elohim. These are classical scholars of that time that are eyewitnesses. So you got Josephus in book 122 confirming that we come from the Indus Valley, the original Hebrews, and he even quoted the philosopher Aristotle saying that the Israelites derived from Indian philosophers. He said that in book 122. I didn't say that. You asked to give you the scissors, my lizard.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
That's crazy. And then that's crazy. Then if you go to Claritus of Sole, he was also a contemporary too, right? Of that time.
Okay.
And he says that the Jews mean
your connection turn. Your connection is getting worse, and unfortunately, now we can't understand it. But you're borging. But I will say this: take that
giving
down.
this dude sources. He ain't give up no sources.
Take that out. Okay, we're gonna.
He can't hear. He can't hear us.
And then, right, yo, I say funny, you know what I mean? And when you go to Genesis chapter 11, let me ask you a question, Ashe, before we go. Ashe, in Genesis chapter 11, when it says the whole earth was one, right? Even though in the Hebrew it don't say that, it don't say the whole earth, it just says the land was one. And it says that they came from the east and they found a plain called Sinar. Where they come from? Where they come from? He might look like he froze up.
I know. Look, we're gonna shut this down. Well, yours is both.
I mean, the power been happening on both sides.
Can I say something about?
Yeah, let's let Harwin get his last word in. I appreciate everybody who hit the panel. Harwin, please come in, say what you need to say, and Mighty Hebrew, finalize it until tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll get our shade to come in and do his response.
It was definitely an honor and a privilege.
Wait, Mighty Hebrew. Yes. I know it's a delay, but we need Harwin. He wants to say something, and then I'm gonna let you have the final word. Harwin, go ahead, please.
That's fine.
Me and Mighty Hebrew both agreed that the dating of the pyramids and the Sphinx is off by Western scholarship the other night.
That's a fact.
If we go by that date, yes, Harapam would be older. But if you go by the actual date, it wouldn't be. But let's use Naphtaliah. Naphtaliah is not Hadapan is not older than Naphtaliah. But if I'm going to be unbiased, I can even show you something in Turkey called Göbekli Tepe that Hadapan is not older than.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So that's a site in
That's
Africa that's older than Hadapan, Naphtaliah, and then there's a site in Turkey that's older than Hadapan.
that's a
And I
fact.
yield right there.
That's you know, and I respect you, brother, because one thing about you, since I've been listening to you for quite some time, you don't be coming with the biasness. You haven't, and somebody said in the comment, R.I.S.E didn't have enough in arson to damage the mighty Hebrew, honestly, because if anybody watched this presentation, I use a chronology on purpose because it's a part of my thesis, and I showed the reason why I'm starting at Taman to do 1 million BCE because it aligns with the Hebrew Coptic records of the Ptolemy or the Atlantean root epic within its prime 1 million BCE. And I start straight shooting down. But because I didn't have enough time, I had to skip over much of my power presentation. But the point that I'm saying, you cannot come at the toughest environment to be in and come up here and think you know something and then go Google something real quick and say, it's saying no. And then you read it and you don't give us no sources. And it just make a statement where the sources I was giving, it was talking about the pottery, the architectural structure, the artifacts, everything. So come on, man. We done with this. Hallelujah.
I want to ask a question real quick about the thing that the one thing I do want to point out, I also love Harwin's information, but from what I know about Göbekli Tepe and Naphtaliah, they're 100% they do predate the Indus Valley civilization, but those two it's debated that those aren't civilizations, right? Were they places of worship more? Like,
Good
am I
point.
wrong about that?
So my answer to that would be this, Nepal. Europeans would love to say that that's not civilization so they can coin where they claim European civilization started from. So when you ask me what civilization, if somebody made a star map in Naphtaliah, that's astronomy, that also takes logistics to even build something like that. So just the science alone shows that there was an intelligent people that built that. And so if we're talking about we want to call it worship, i.e. Göbekli Tepe, if you ask me, Harwin, yes, I would call that civilization. But if you ask modern Western civilization answer to it, it would be very ambiguous.
Right. I get what you're saying, but for me, my perspective would not be that it's a conspiracy. What it says to me is, how can we prescribe it to one particular group of people if it's a site of worship only that's not tied to a civilization? You know what I'm saying? Because
that's a good point. You can only say that Naphtaliah was indigenous Africans.
Yes, there you go. See, so I like.
But you can say that same thing about dynastic Kemet.
No, but I was going to say the same thing about the Indus Valley. I want to ask you this because you're very well versed on this, and so is Mighty Hebrew. What about if we say Nubians and Kemetic? That not the Playa predates that, right? Correct. So
I would say that Nubia, what we're calling Nubia, Naphtaliah will be a part of that, but they're using Nubia in modern times as an anachronistic term, even though Harwin would argue that that's an ancient word, but that's not the conversation we're having.
That's a fact.
What we're saying is that Naphtaliah, if you want to call that Nubian, you can say yes, but even Nubians is an amalgamation of different African groups.
Because Harwin, okay, I'm glad we got to close this out, but I got to do a show with you on this, and I hope Mighty Hebrew will come back in because my question.
Can I ask Harwin? Can I ask Harwin one question before he go? Can I ask? And before that, I want to say to Brother R.I.S.E, yo, man, I respect that you had the nerve to say, yo, I'm gonna challenge the Mighty Hebrew. I definitely give you your props on that. You know what I mean? Because
you don't challenge anybody.
You keep the old lion up because I'm telling you, I was gonna go sit there. So you know I'm hemp friendly. Everybody know I'm hemp friendly, and I was gonna just Sit, retire, chill. Brother said, look, I'm going to challenge that. So you got me out of my bag real quick. But Harwin, I want to ask you a quick question before you go.
What's good, bro?
When I put the information that I put up of all them civilizations that you've seen going back to 1 million BCE, when we see a Tamanadu with the tools and the hominins going back 1 million BCE, giving you the science journal, the sources, everything, and going into the Hakra civilizations and all them other civilizations I was showing going back 50,000 BCE. What do you think about all that stuff I showed?
I think that I like that I like you, Mighty Hebrew, because like me, you go against the modern Occidental, which is another big word to say Western academic paradigm. So just like Nepal just asked me about that word civilization, that word becomes very ambiguous when we're using modern terms to explain what a civilization
That's a
actually
fact.
is.
Right.
So if you ask me, is that civilization? It's like, to me, people would think that hunter-gatherers aren't civilized, that they couldn't build intricate structures. And I think that's completely imperialistic and
But you
racist.
seen, but you seen the structures that I showed that they actually built. Like it was right
That's my
there in
point.
color.
That's why I just brought up what they would call a hunter-gatherer. They tried to call the people in Göbekli Tepe hunter-gatherers, but now they got to redefine what a hunter-gatherer is.
They don't have proof of them, but I just want to say that they don't have any proof of pretty much what I'm saying to people who need to just, all of us are looking at it, the ones who are interested. I see it as like, maybe it was a necropolis, maybe it was just a place of worship that they knew was there, and people added to it, like on their pilgrimage or something, kind of like, I forgive me if this is a bad analogy, but like the Kaaba in the Middle East, the Mecca, yeah, the Mecca. So
that's not a bad analogy, no part. But I would still say that's a civilization.
Civilizations go there, right? Harwin, all the different civilizations, mixture, go there.
Yeah, different peoples of different civilizations, modern times, go there right now.
Right. Okay.
I have a quick thing I wanted to say, and I want to address Ashe, because he did talk about like the asexual, and he called that transgenderism. And I think there's a big difference between an asexual and a transgender person. So I think that he's getting the concept of asexual being mixed up with a transgender. Also, the actual he said that Mighty Hebrew is doing Jewish mysticism. The actual name of the show that we did was Kabbalah, was talking about the Kabbalah. So, and he was talking about the Merkabah. So there is a little bit of like esoteric knowledge and hidden information in there. So to say that Madame Blavatsky is the source of that information, when there have been esoterics that have existed way before Madame Blavatsky, and she probably got that from somewhere else. And even the books he showed, when it goes into like the cycles of Earth and this, that, the other, I'm not sure how old that book is, if it came before Madame Blavatsky or after, but people were having these thoughts before Madame Blavatsky, and I'm trying to understand, like, when you talk about the asexual being, do you think of it as a transgender because of Madame Blavatsky's take on it, or do you think that is
You asked a good question. I think you asked a good question. I'm not gonna draw it out in the park. I know we gotta go.
No, go ahead. I'm gonna let you have after you. I'm gonna let Mighty Hebrew go. Go ahead.
Right. So Kabbalah is Jewish mysticism. Kabbalah is Jewish mysticism. And when it comes, you were right. Asexual is not transsexual. That's why I encourage like people to actually watch the presentation that I did, because there was a few cultures that came out with this ideology. The Greeks was more prominent for it as well, where they said in the beginning of the time, man was asexual. And comes in, and then you got split. If you go to the joint and you watch it, it also includes the split. So then we go into male and female after this split. So if I go into male and female after a split, before that, I have to encompass both. Right? That's different talk. That's encompassing both. So once they talk about the split, it's this return that is even within these older cultures as well. They return to this state.
The return to this encompassing both masculine and feminine, to return to that state is what I'm referring to. That's that Bati boy. It promotes transsexual. That gives the transsexual, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with transsexual, so don't cancel us. But that gives the transsexual the green light to look in the mirror and say, you want to know what? I'm the way that God originally intended this thing to be. I'm the original embodiment.
Right. But what about the why that is like actually going away? What if because
our Y is going away, but it's going to be replaced by something else. Where we always didn't even have a Y chromosome, you know, but that didn't stop making us males.
You gotta
we were
tell them
still
about
males.
the archaic Y and the archaic X. It's not the same thing as the modern X and Y.
Exactly, that's true as
Say
well.
that again. Wait, what you say? Wait, what you say?
What I said was the archaic X and the archaic Y is not the exact same as the X and Y we have today.
They have changed. They have transformed.
Yeah, but I have to jump in and push back on that. It's not the same because they weren't sex chromosomes. They were just basic autosomes, but they were both identical, similar to what we have with XX now. So that is where I stand in that position where,
and
even though you're right, it wasn't. Yes,
oh no,
but
Paul, you're not disagreeing with what I'm saying. I'm agreeing.
Right.
I agree.
Okay,
I agree as well. I agree as well. But I'm not a Hebrew Israelite who got a whole doctrine going against it.
But I think that that actually it was more of a scientific, that it explains why that X would go, and then it would go revert back to the double X, and then come, or the
revert back to the double X.
No, it's not going to do that because that would make it double. That make it feminine. There are males who unfortunately have double X chromosomes. That's a real thing that happens. That's not like impossible. But we're going to have a different chromosome. Then it's just going to replace. We're just going to have something. We're not going to have an X. We're going to have something else than a Y. There are some animals that don't have Y chromosomes. They have like, I think,
but then they can't procreate.
They're still males.
Birds have Z.
So, can they procreate?
Birds have Z chromosomes.
Yeah, they can still procreate. So it's just about the degeneration of the Y of the. I say it's the degeneration of the second X, which is the Y continues to change, and we can. I don't want to get into saying the thing incorrectly, but it is degenerating. It's a fascinating subject. Why don't y'all come in and do a lesson on it? Anybody? I don't have to be the only one.
I want to talk about it all tomorrow.
Okay, cool. Then we're gonna.
I said that.
You schedule it.
We're supposed to have been had this conversation in the podcast. I'm still curious because that's what I thought it was really getting back to, was more of a chromosomal thing and not necessarily a sexuality like a transgender. Like, oh, I want to be a woman.
And that's another point I want to hit on. Why I think it's Bati Boy, indigenous black man, stealing my information from my presentation.
No,
that's what I said. Because that's what I said. No, because that's what I'm trying to be long. But it's that replacement for like the wife of God to me. I feel like instead of saying that God had a consort that came down and did this thing, it's like, nah, we go say God was asexual. Like, that's crazy.
Do your presentation, set it up, schedule it. I'm catching so much heat because I really wanted this to go. No, it's not your bad. You waited a long time. You guys got to talk. This isn't the end of this. Mighty Hebrew, thank you for being here. We have Morpheus coming up. So everybody in the audience, hopefully Morpheus didn't say, forget it. But we have Morpheus coming up with another presentation after this. Thank you for everybody watching. Genesis, thank you for co-hosting. Ashe, King Jay, It's a Queen, Harwin, Silky, everybody who came in. Go ahead, Mighty Hebrew. Please let this be your final closeout, and we will end this so we can hear Morpheus.
If y'all look at, before we go, if you look at my camera, right, this book right here, y'all should get this book, right? And you remember when he said Kabbalah was Jewish mysticism? You remember that? Well, right here, it says Kabbalah as it really is, right? And if you go on page 38, of the book, it breaks down that the Jewish Kabbalah goes back to Kashmirian Kabbalah, okay? So I just want y'all to know that the Kabbalah existed before Judaism, before Jewish mysticism. You see what I'm saying? So, I just want to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, and I thank everybody for letting me come on the show, meaning the Paul Shaddai. Elder Sinetta. It was definitely an honor and a privilege. And, you know, Brother Ashe, I thought you was going to come strong, but you didn't, man. You ain't source up at all, man. You
He has a show coming tomorrow.
I know, man, but you know, dealing with me, you got to always be prepared. You know what I mean? Hallelujah. And that's how, because I know where I'm at. I know the environment that I'm in. And if you don't source up, man, you gotta shut up, man. But I love
shit,
you.
let me drop the bomb on that one. Wait, hold on. There we go.
And
all right, peace.
Brother Asiatic is correct. All right, shalom, shalom, hallelujah.
Thank you so much. All right, everybody, stay tuned. Next stream, hopefully we will have Morpheus still come in. We did go over an hour, but we needed to get that in. We needed to let everybody get up and have their commentary. And I wanted to see Ashe face the mighty Hebrew. Shout out to Ashe. He is one of the most, how do you say? I shouldn't say most. He's the fiercest roaring lion, young lion in the HOK. I will say that he's ready to. He don't care who it is. So thank you, everybody. Peace. Indigenous black man said, "I better check you, Ashe." Come on now, it's all good.
Everybody's always stealing his knowledge. It doesn't.
You know they keep. You know we be stealing from indigenous. Don't play with him.
I think I stole some knowledge from her. I don't even know what it is.
All right. Peace, everybody. I'm not even going to play a song. More pieces coming up. Thank you for tuning in. Peace, peace, peace. Peace.